Ahoy, lane lovers. It's me, your Captain Vasco speaking. Welcome. It is Saturday, April the 5th, 2025. Boy, it's April. Hmm. Time flies, sort of. The passage of time, I feel like, gets really strange as you get older. Like, time itself doesn't change, but your perception of it does. But, like, we currently live in some unprecedented times, and it sure feels like a ton has happened in a few months. And let's just summarize by saying much of it's not good, and it is hard to remain focused on anything stable or good. But luckily for us, we have. I don't know why that one didn't take easier. Rosewater. Now I've moved myself up to the upper left-hand corner because I realized that I was covering some of the subtitle dialogue, and I don't know. We don't have like a huge like heads-up display interface or anything in Rosewater, so I picked a corner that looks best on camera since I refuse to like flip this thing back. And yeah, I mean, we'll just see if we're covering up much. I think there were a couple of times where like I was covering up characters like walking into the scene or something. It seems like the lower half of the screen's a little bit more important than the upper half, which isn't terribly surprising. But as someone suggested yesterday, in video games, roughly speaking, there's not generally a good corner to put yourself in as a streamer. Some games manage to do it, or localize things in such a way you can at least offset yourself just a little bit and not really be in the way. But yeah, not a big deal. But hashtag streamer problems. So I would hop right into the game and then do a recap. But here's the thing: we are in a weird section of the game, an unprecedented section of the game, if you will, where we just set off from the town of Rosewater to a place called El Presidio, which is like right on the edge of not California in fictional Vespuccia, which is legally distinct from the United States of America. Good for them, lucky them. And yeah, we've been introducing in the game of Rosewater more and more heavily over time sections, and I'm pretty sure if I just like load up where we're on like sort of a wagon train expedition to get from point A to point B. And I think that if I sat there, I would just like advance to the next like short, probably timed segment. We were told near the end of yesterday's stream that it was going to be, I think, 8 or 9 days to get from where we started to there. I'm starting to think that that means like 8 or 9 individual like mini missions. Rosewater's been an interesting game so far. It is a point and click adventure game. It did come out like last week. Um and it's interesting. So for one, it has those time sections, which aren't terribly common in most adventure games. It also has like multiple characters with like relevant skill sets. So like characters are sort of an extension of your inventory by nature of like getting to know what things they're capable of, which is kind of interesting. But at the same time, I don't think we've seen that executed in an extremely interesting way so far. Not that they're doing a bad job, just that like we've been playing it pretty light with that feature so far. And we have yet to like choose our own party, which may be a thing we do over time. But it's something that existed in, for example, Unavowed, which a different sort of landmark point and click adventure game from not that long ago. I want to say like 2016 or something. Maybe a little earlier than that. And I mean, broadly speaking, like we play as Harley Leger. She is a woman who moved from the city in fictional 1850. I thought it was later. I had the wrong date in my head for some reason. I'm terrible at history, even alternate history. It turns out. But she like moved out to an old like gold rush town basically because someone there had offered her like a journalist job based on I don't remember specifically what it was, but like she had bit of a reputation, some skills as a writer, and tried to parlay that into a job out here because I think she was unhappy with the city life. And the first assignment was to follow a guy named Gentleman Jack and his associate Danny, who were like traveling like frontier legend performers. Like he's like the sort of guy who's like a sort of folk hero, like a larger than life figure, but he just like goes around sort of doing like shooting and roping tricks and stuff like that, recounting adventures that may or may not have happened, but at best were probably exaggerated. And in so doing, we like helped him get out of a scrape in like a bar fight, and he was like impressed by our skills, and he invited us on this expedition to track down a bunch of research funding that had been absconded with by a scientist named Dr. Clark, who's been researching like fictional steampunk electricity. It's drawn like directly out of the sky. And there was like a famous incident where he like killed a bunch of people at like a not World's Fair scenario, and then like the fictional New York City equivalent outlawed that research. So he came out here to the same wilderness town and then sort of vanished under mysterious circumstances. We managed to find an old journal of his that contained a letter that invited him to come to this place, El Presidio. And now those two, and a couple other folks who joined us along the way, a revolutionary from alternate history Mexico, and a woman who's been functioning as like a doctor for a native tribe near the town of Rosewater, but who has a increasingly mysterious sounding past. For some reason, I'm genuinely a little unclear as to why those two have decided to tag along on this journey. I guess they're just hoping to get a bunch of gold, but like neither one of them seems strongly motivated by money. But like, yeah, long story short, like we've formed a posse of sorts looking for missing scientists, mainly trying to get his gold, to some extent probably just trying to figure out what happened to him. And that search takes us to El Presidio, and our means of doing so is a horseless stagecoach, which is just like a steam engine driven like alternate history proto RV sort of thing. It's interesting. But like right at the end of yesterday's stream, we got like we pulled over to the side of the road and then like witnessed like an oil rigger accidentally like tangle himself up in a rope trying to get down from the top of an oil rig. And well, let's just say we did some save scumming to figure out what the most interesting outcomes from that scenario was. And now, having helped him and agreed to deliver a letter to our final destination on his behalf, we have set back out on our journey, and who knows what comes next.
Hey, Jake?
Yeah, Harley?
Did your travels ever take you to El Presidio?
A few times. Can't say I much care for it. But that city's for you. Too crowded, too impersonal. I'll take the wide open countryside any day.
You know, it occurs to me in this moment how like functionally insane it is to have the steam engine at the back of this vehicle where the driver's up in the front and there's no dedicated engineer. Like, there's probably a good reason why, like, a steam locomotive has this up in the front,
Looks like we have some time on our hands. How about a story?
Sure, why not?
Oh, so yes, Ting
It was
Ting.
1842, and I'd been hired by the sheriff of Bleachbone Gulch
That's
to
Western
track
as
down
heck.
some cattle rustlers. It was a long and winding trail, but by following the signs, I finally tracked down the stolen herd and the rustlers' camp. So I went back to town and gathered up a posse. 4 able-bodied men, plus myself. That
Did he exclude himself from the list of able-bodied men?
cover of darkness. We had the elements of surprise, but we were outnumbered 3-1. Before I knew it, the shooting had started. It was a long and bloody gunfight. In the end, yours truly was the last man left standing. I drove that whole herd on by my lonesome. They were all back home by dawn, with not a head missing. Lost some good fellers that night. But that was the
It's a sacrifice I was willing to make.
Bleachbone Gulch.
Hell of a story.
Now there's plenty more where that came from.
I appreciate the chat.
Anytime, Harley.
We talked to the other
Hey,
two in the
Danny,
back last
let's
time,
talk.
so mixing it up.
Sure. Actually, I was wondering about something. Where'd you learn how to fight?
Well, let's see. Used to do it for money. It was a necessary skill where I grew up, and I'd rather not talk about it. I feel like it's been strongly implied based on some of our choices, but also just generally the context of what we know about our character, that she had a little bit of a rough upbringing. So I feel like the second choice fits that.
Growing up where I did, you had to fight to survive.
Where was that?
New Britannia. The Chum, specifically.
The Chum.
Lamplight City, huh? I've heard it can get wild.
You've heard right. When the Aurum had us locked up, you said something about having been in a similar predicament. Have to say, I've been curious.
Oh, right. Well, it's not that exciting. Nothing like one of Jake's stories.
Let me be the judge of that.
So, before I met Jake, I used to run with some folks who, well, we got into some trouble. The guy in charge, he thought it might be fun to try sticking up a post office. That didn't go so well. We wound up in jail for a few days. We didn't escape or anything, just did our time and were let go.
I see.
That's a thrilling story.
Not at all. I appreciate you telling me.
So don't mess with the mail, I guess.
So who were these people you ran with before?
They, do we have to talk about this right now?
I don't really feel the need to press it. Not sure why he's so antsy. Why would he bring it up if he wasn't? It's
No,
fine.
we don't. Sorry if I hit a sore spot.
That's okay. Maybe some other time.
I'm curious if there are multiple character stories that seem to be like, maybe we'll talk about this later. And I get the impression that this game isn't trying to just sort of sweep it under the rug. So I wonder if there's achievements or something that are get them to actually tell you the whole story or something along those lines. Surprisingly, they were only jailed for a few days. I mean, I don't know. It's like alternate Western times. I feel like we had a different scope of consideration for crime and punishment. Also, people released from prison were much more likely to randomly be shot dead. Or so TV gives the impression.
So have you been to El Presidio before?
Yeah, I was born there.
No kidding. Didn't you say your family lived near El Presidio?
In the area, yeah. They moved out to the city proper a few years back. I left when I was 16. Haven't been back in ages. We're slowing down again.
Good. I could use a change of environment. Harley, could I have a word outside?
Sure.
Look at where I'm going to stand when I'm talking to you.
Time to set up camp.
Harley and I'll be back shortly. Just gonna take a walk over to that spring. Danny and the others can aid in the preparations.
You better not be skipping out every time there's work to be done, you hear?
Shall we?
Lead on.
Don't know what's happening.
Would you look at that spring? I ain't seen water that clear since that time I went swimming with the Prime Minister's rambunctious niece.
So, you wanted to talk to me about something?
Over here by the loud
I
water?
did. I can tell you've got a cogitating mind.
How dare you.
Always assessing the situation,
Oh.
finding the risks and opportunities. Now that we've got a real posse assembled, I'm keen to hear your thoughts on our little venture. Everything seemed hunky-dory so far, in your estimation?
It's really interesting that I have the option to just say yes, but also yes, parentheses, it's a lie. There's certain games where it's clear what the implication of that is. I don't really know. I mean, honestly, I don't know if everyone's personalities are necessarily a perfect fit, but I feel like overall we have a pretty skilled team. Could just sleep inside the stagecoach. Yeah, I feel like I would prefer that.
Yes, I think so. It's an odd bunch, all right, but all capable in their own way. If a treasure's out there to be found, I think this gang can do it.
Delighted to hear it. You let me know if that changes, all right?
You got it.
That's
right,
interesting.
well, we should be heading back. L. Smith Johnson will...
Oh, hey there.
Howdy, friend.
Welcome, welcome. Name's Aubrey Trout, but you're not here about me. I reckon you're here for the spring water.
Something special about it?
Something special about it.
Super haunted?
This here's an etheric spring. Best kept secret in the great western desert.
Why'd you just tell me
They're in
that?
spring.
Sure.
You fool.
Y'all know about ethericity, don't you?
We're
Heard of it?
familiar.
Well, this water's got the same properties due to a confluence of etherically sensitive minerals deep in the earth, you see. This here's a hotbed. Taking a drink will cure whatever ails you and grant you the strength of 10
Well, that's
men.
fine. I don't need that because I have Cold Hits Miracle Elixir. I don't know if you were here for the last stream, but I can say that because that's its proper name. It is pretty loud, like not running water, isn't it? Keep in mind, I did before the last stream turn down sound effects like 2 notches or something. You know what? Prove it. That's a little standoffish, but prove it. I want to see you do something cool with it.
Okay, so prove it.
Gladly. Observe.
Jumping Jehoshaphat.
Nani?
Daily sips of this water have conferred upon me a practically superhuman strength. Now, tell me, how old you think I am?
I imagine a spry young feller like yourself can't be more than 25?
I'm 118.
What if I told you I was 52?
I don't know exactly how I expect these to be interpreted. I know some people get really annoyed about this kind of thing in narrative games, and I don't know, I'm a little less sensitive to it than some, but I do feel like this is the type of game where you don't always know exactly what you get when you choose a dialogue option. I'm sort of hoping that, you know, the first option, you're lying, definitely kind of confrontational. Second one, does this water make you look younger too? A little earnest, maybe it's meant to be naive. The third one, what's your game exactly? I feel like that's closest to it. It's like, at this point, I'm just curious why you're trying to sell me on this water. Like, if it's supposed to be a secret and it's important to you, like, why are you just going around telling strangers about the thing that gives you superpowers and makes you look young? Like, it feels like probably a snake oil con job. Like, that was not actually made of metal. Like, someone carved that pipe out of soap and covered it in tinfoil or something like that.
Enough beating around the bush. What's your game? You trying to get us to pay you for this water? Or go in on some fool business venture to sell the stuff?
Ma'am, I am wounded. Haven't tasted bliss. I just want to share it with my fellow man. Or is the spirit of generosity dead and buried? Okay, look, I'll take a drink now. Watch me.
Gotta be so funny if you just dropped dead after doing this.
There, you see? Tastes like springtime and sunlight. Now, if the water was no good, would I have done that?
Reckon not.
So go on, friends. Share in the wealth. Take a sip.
If it does even half of what you say.
I don't know what, This is a tough one to evaluate for me, because, like, I don't know what I would do. Like, I imagine in these times it probably isn't all that weird to just drink water from a random loud spring. So, like, it wouldn't seem like there's anything better or worse about drinking from this place than another similar pond or oasis or whatever. But there's definitely something about this guy's demeanor and the fact that he approached us out of nowhere that makes me more suspicious. It's like one of those things where it's like, it in a way, it almost feels like he just walked up to us and said, like, well, there's nothing suspicious about this here spring. And it's like, why did you say that? Like, I didn't think there was anything suspicious about it until you started talking. I imagine that, like, having him take another drink wouldn't make a difference. I don't know that I entirely have a sense of the world of Rosewater, in a sense. Like, am I just meant to think that everyone's always conning me, or is there, like, deliberately some good sprinkled in there? Well, we have a save this from not that long ago. Go ahead, take a drink.
Jake, if you think this guy's legit, knock yourself out.
Don't mind if I do.
Won't you try it yourself? You're missing out.
Maybe so, but I think I can live without it.
To your health, friend.
To all our health.
Is he gonna turn into a duck?
Well, how do you feel?
Not great.
Jake!
Now, no sudden moves. Empty your pockets. I want every last copper.
Just how were you able to drink so much of that stuff?
A great magician never reveals his secrets. Now, less chatter, more emptying of pockets.
You think I'm giving you anything after you killed my friend?
Oh, he was just a little sip. He'll be out for a few hours, but it won't kill him. You, on the other hand, will get one right between the eyes if you don't give me all your money. Now.
Fine, take it and get out of here.
Wise choice, friend.
Why do I have $1?
Jake, can you hear me?
What happened?
Did a few hours just pass?
That no good Mr. Trout tricked us, that's what. He took all my money.
He took all your money?
All except the crown stuck in my boot for emergencies.
Oh, hell.
Sit tight. I'll fetch Nadine to have a look at you.
These look like the effects of arsenic poisoning. You said he had a small amount of the water?
Just a sip.
I can ease the discomfort, but he'll recover on his own with time.
That's interesting. Finite medical supplies?
You should save your medical supplies for emergencies. This will be a learning experience for Jake.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Then help me get him back to the wagon. He needs to rest.
How's Jake doing?
I think he's past the worst of it. He should be fine by morning.
We should enjoy the peace and quiet while we can, then.
I'll save him a bowl of chili.
The chili's almost ready. Harley, can you come help me and Phil serve?
Sure thing.
Interesting that the men are doing the cooking. Hey,
That
why are you chugging
smells
along, game?
heavenly.
The kid is a good cook, eh? But
What's happening?
I believe this chili could use a little of my secret ingredient.
What's that?
Mezcal. I picked up a bottle before we left Rosewater. Gives it a nice smoky flavor.
What's wrong with this
Makes
scene?
you feel nice afterwards too. This group needs a bit of
Everything is like
loosening up,
moving
don't
so
you think?
slowly. See, I have a few issues here. I feel like there's an issue that I am having with this game where it's not quite that it's like part of me wants to sort of complain that like it's hard to make an educated guess about how anything is going to happen because the game kind of keeps changing the parameters of like what it's about. But I think a bigger issue I have is that like we've now seen like two back-to-back situations where like I don't actually get to have input in moments where characters make like baffling decisions. Like that dude who just like robbed us, he like took Jake's gun and like held it on me. So like I did nothing. My character, who we've established is good in a fist fight, doesn't do anything to like stop this guy. Like, that doesn't make any sense to me. Like, why would you let him go over and take his gun and then hold you up at gunpoint? Like, we're in the Wild West. Like, we assume that, you know, people are outlaws and up to no good or whatever. Why let him just, like, take the gun with no resistance when he, like, doesn't already have, like, a weapon on us? And it's like an extension of that same thing that was, like, frustrating in the section at the end of last week's, or yesterday's stream, where, like, you go to use the knife to try and cut that guy down, and the game presents this kind of, like, baffling scenario where, like, you must always throw the knife, like, you can't simply cut it, even though it looks like it's a place where someone could, like, reach the rope to just cut him down. And so, like, if you use the knife, like, earnestly in a straightforward way, then it gives you two options and they're both bad. And then, like, if you try one of them, then, like, Jake is like, wow, you know what? You should have told me you were going to throw a knife, and then I would have thrown it super good, and we wouldn't have had a problem. It's like, I literally announced that I was going to throw the knife to do this, and then you watched it happen, and then you criticized it. Like, what did you want? An engraved invitation? I definitely don't think you should spike the whole meal supply, particularly because there's, like, bandits out here.
I don't think that's the best idea.
I don't know why this scene is, like,
I
borked.
just don't. So leave the chili be, okay?
Whatever you say.
I mean, if you want to dose your own serving, that's totally fine. Like, you could deal with that.
We should be ready to serve.
What's wrong with this scene?
Just one last taste. Perfect. Come on, let's fill up these bowls and get everybody
Like, the
fed.
lip sync is messed up, the movements are slow, like, I don't know what's going on. Do I have to restart the game?
Really, Mr. Marquez?
Now, in ancient Rome, belching after a meal was considered a great compliment. I am merely expressing my satisfaction and gratitude for an excellent meal.
Thanks.
This ain't ancient Rome.
I don't really know what to make of a choice like this. Like, as the player, I don't know if the food was any good. I don't know if it's a lie to say that the chili was good. I don't know. I'll go with this middling option because, like, I have no reason to think it was particularly good or bad.
Yeah, it wasn't bad. Pinch more salt might have brought out the flavor. Quite good, though.
I'll keep that in mind for next time.
It's a nice night.
Perfect for relaxing and enjoying the company of one's comrades. The best part of the day. I have always said that the battle is won or lost around the campfire the night before.
I'll make an observation that might not be popular. This is starting to give me World's End Club vibes. Like, this does not feel pertinent to the adventure at large. It's just to, like, constantly be sitting around talking to the characters. Like, World's End Club did this, like, constantly. You would do, like, a small section of gameplay and then talk to, like, 12 different characters and then advance the story a small amount and then talk to those 12 characters again. It was kind of insane. It got really tedious. This isn't certainly on the same scale, but, like, I did this, like, in the Stagecoach right before that happened.
Doing all right, Miss Johnson?
I'd say so. If you'll excuse me, it's been a long day. I need to rest up for tomorrow's drive. Night all.
That was weird. Why did it fade to black? Are we playing Untold Legends Dark
You
Kingdom?
look like you're enjoying yourself.
And why should I not be? We have fine weather, good food, good company. Are you not?
Well, sure. I mean, this is great and all, but...
Ah, I see. You are one of those people. In Spanish, we call them aguafiestas.
What's that mean?
Water
Someone who
party?
does not know how to have fun.
I hate to leave such merry company, but I'm suddenly feeling very sleepy.
I
Please
don't
excuse me.
understand what's
I'll
happening.
see
This
you all
feels
in the
really
morning.
weird.
Alright.
So, Danny, where'd you learn to cook chili anyway?
I just sorta picked it up. Can't really remember where.
Time for me to call it a night.
Buenas noches.
Sleep
I
well.
don't understand what's happening. This is very weird. That could have been an email. That didn't even need to be a cutscene.
We leave within the hour.
Danny does have a
Don't
weird
leave
accent.
anything behind.
Say, Harley, care to join me and Jake for a stroll?
Where to?
Not far, just along the river. Thought we might enjoy the fresh air before getting cooped up in that tin can again.
Danny breaks wind like a horse in there, you know, especially after one of his chilly nights.
Is he meant to be
Oh,
Chinese? I
come
mean, he's
on.
clearly meant
I
to
do
be
not.
Asian.
Not
I would
just
guess
joshing
Chinese
you,
under the
boy.
historical circumstances, but I don't
Shall
know.
we?
Lead on.
I don't think we've heard anything
Beautiful,
specific
ain't it?
along this line.
Let's keep going. I think the river bends up ahead.
But I think El Presidio is supposed to be like San Francisco. I think historically in this time period there was like a lot of
Awfully rough
Chinese
water.
immigrants coming through and living there.
Nothing. It gets real wild a little ways
Of course, it's
down.
alternate history, so who knows? Get down, you crazy kid.
You got a death wish, kid? Get down from there.
Why?
Because you look liable to fall, that's why.
I'll pay these fussing old hens no mind, Sonny. I was the same at your
At
age.
least there's reason for
Jump
this
around
water to be
trees
loud.
like a lemur.
I'm good at climbing. Watch this.
Oh, that sounds bad.
What do you think?
Mighty impressive, son.
Maybe you best go back to where you were. You're making me nervous.
You are a fussing hen. I told ya, I'm good at... Ah!
Shit! What the hell do we do now?
Danny!
Hot damn, he's got him. Now hurry up and come on back to shore.
I'm trying!
I can't swim!
Hold tight. We'll figure something out. Feels kind of flimsy, but it might help.
Obvious
Hang
stick.
on,
Hey,
Danny.
I need something to grab to get back to shore. Give me a rope or something solid.
Jake!
What?
do you have a rope on you?
I might have an idea, but I'll need something of yours.
Okay, what?
Let me have your belts.
Give me your belts.
Okay, sure. Take him.
Now I've got a double loop. I've tied Jake's belts together to make a double loop. Danny, grab onto this. Jake, a little help, please?
Gotcha.
Thanks.
That was some quick thinking, Danny boy. I'm impressed.
I mean, I feel like he did some quick acting and I did some quick thinking. I'm glad it worked out. It was both brave and stupid and also heroic.
That was a risky gamble, Danny, but it paid off.
I wasn't really thinking about the risks. I just jumped in without thinking.
Instincts, my boy.
Well, you knew just what to do and it worked. It's clear the rest of us weren't going to be much use. You did a good thing. I'm glad you both made it okay. Hey, kid, how about a little gratitude for your rescuer? Danny here just saved your wretched back-talking neck.
Thanks, mister.
You're welcome. Have you got a family to get back to? They must be worried.
Yeah, Ma and Pa got a camp nearby.
Run along then, son. Be sure to tell him Gentleman Jake's brave assistant Danny Luo saved your life.
And stay out of trees, little brat.
All right now. Let's head back to the others so Danny can relate the tale of his heroic deed.
Honestly, the fact that we could encounter the Poison Man again makes me kind of want to do
I'll catch
this.
up later.
Suit yourself, hero. Hey, don't be too long.
I didn't like that I didn't have a chance to do any kind of puzzle solving or take any action when he just like stole
Sure.
Jake's gun.
I just needed a moment.
Sure seems hard for you to take a compliment. Why is that?
Oh, I don't know. It isn't good to brag.
It's not the same thing as bragging. Let your friends sing your praises, then you don't have to.
I'd really rather just help others instead of making it about me.
Look, you describe yourself as an honest sort, right?
Well,
Didn't quite catch that over the sound of this
I don't
river.
take to lying, if that's what you mean.
Seems to me that false modesty is about the same as lying. If you're actually good at something, or if you have a good idea, just say so. No sense hiding when you've got something of value to contribute.
I hadn't really thought of it that way. I appreciate the talk, Harley.
Anytime. Let's get back to camp.
I wonder if that'll have any bearing on how that character acts in the future. Yeah, this is gonna take some days, huh?
Hey, Jake?
Yeah, Harley?
Feeling any better?
Not quite restored to the full bloom of health, but I'll get there. I certainly appreciate your display of concern. However belated it may be.
I'm a rough sort.
I appreciate the chat.
Anytime, Harley.
Talk to
Hey, Nadine.
Nadine.
Hello, Harley.
Good book.
I'm not much of a literary critic, but it helps pass the time. Danny told me you're a writer. Have you published any books?
Me?
No.
No, books are way beyond my reach.
I have short
stick
arms.
to articles and essays. I have trouble enough with those.
You shouldn't underestimate yourself. It wouldn't surprise me to see a book with your name on the cover someday.
Well, that's kind of you to say. Guess we'll see.
Folks, we're making a brief stop. There's a
Can only
lady
ever
by the
talk to
road
two
might
people.
need some help.
Let's see if we can be of assistance then.
It doesn't seem like it's in the character of our driver to care about
Have you been
raiding
stranded out
people.
here, ma'am?
Oh, no, not at all. I can see how it might look that way, but I assure you, I am here with fierce and deliberate purpose.
What's with all these holes? Oh, just like the carved out stuff. What's
So
the
what
purpose?
possessed you to come stand out in the middle of the desert?
My name is Amber Lee, and I am a paleontologist.
Beg
Oh
your
my
pardon.
god.
It means I collect and study fossils.
Fossils? You mean bones?
Yes, that's right. Bones of the great creatures that roam these lands.
What do you think the
millions of
alt
years
history
ago.
dinosaurs
Mighty
look like?
thunder lizards who shook the ground with every step. This wasn't always a desert, you know. It may seem difficult to imagine now, but millions of years ago, this was all a vast, lush rainforest. The perfect habitat for these awesome beasts.
You know where to find
Suppose
them?
everybody needs a hobby.
This is no mere hobby, sir. This is my vocation. In fact, I have been invited to exhibit my findings at the esteemed Jolly Good Club in El Presidio.
The Jolly Good Club.
We could probably use an in with them.
What a coincidence. We're on our way there right now.
Is that right? Are there members of the club among you?
Well, I didn't say
no.
that.
Are you a member?
Alas, women are not permitted to join. They have made a
Obs.
special exception to allow me to give my lecture, and they are expecting something spectacular. If I don't find something truly extraordinary to show, I will be in quite a bind. Fortune has not been in my favor on this expedition. I am certain this area is full of treasures. Fossilized remains, that is. But the Earth stubbornly refuses to yield up her secrets. Say, have you any experience with excavation?
Thought of standing by myself in the desert till I get dehydrated and turn to dust. Yeah, I mean, menial labor in the desert with no clear plan on your way to go give a speech somewhere seems like a solid plan to me, overall. I mean, we could sure use her help, and I feel like she would be inclined to help us if we helped her. Not sure it's a great idea to lie to her about sensitive work such as retrieving fossils for this thing.
Afraid not. Can't even remember the last time I touched a shovel.
Oh, no matter. The digging isn't even the most important part. It's the handling of the fossils. As long as you've a delicate touch, you'll be a great help. I shall compensate you for your trouble, of course.
How much are we talking?
I'll need 2 field assistants. I am prepared to offer you 5 crowns each for a day's labor, and double that if you turn up something I can exhibit.
Bigger finder's fee. I feel like she's more likely to agree to a bigger finder's fee than trying to set a higher fixed rate, but that's because there's no guarantee that we'd be able to come up with something. I have no idea how the game mechanics might work here, if there's like some literal chance or what have you. Hey, Kane, welcome to the stream. We're trying to decide how to... We're negotiating to provide work as paleontologists for a woman randomly standing in the middle of the desert. How are you doing? How about bigger finder's fee?
If we do turn up something good, surely it's worth more than that to you. How about doubling that finder's fee to 10?
These discoveries will surely have enormous value to the scientific community, but I fear my cash is limited. It seems you are confident in your abilities. In exchange for the chance of a greater bonus, perhaps you will accept a reduction in the guaranteed fee to 3 crowns each?
So we'll make at least 6, and as much as 26 crowns.
Sounds like a fine gamble. Let's find us some bones. You taking point on this, Harley?
Guess so.
Ooh. I think we should pick either Nadine or Danny. I feel like they're the two who I have the most trust to handle a delicate operation. I feel like Nadine's probably the best pick. She's like effectively a surgeon considering the time period.
Nadine, want to help me out?
Of course. Now remember, we are searching for bones belonging to the great dinosaurs that I believe were once abundant here. They may be scattered in pieces. I aspire above all to discover and assemble a complete skeleton for display. My holy grail, if you will. If you uncover anything useful, be sure to tag it for classification.
Don't waste too much time. We got to keep moving.
You committed to a day's work.
All right, but not a minute more.
May fortune favor our search.
Why did she pull us over if she like didn't want to waste time here?
Just sand and dirt. Oh, whoops.
What?
Oh, whoops.
Hey gang, I don't understand how the mechanics of this work. Alright, this time it's safe to dig?
Can't dig any deep.
Okay.
Just sand and dirt. Say, this looks promising.
Okay. I'm gonna legit reload there because the game gives no indication of how this system works, and I feel like it's fair that that counts as my tutorial, okay? Oh, that time it showed me something that maybe I clicked through the first time? Oh, I should...
And what have we here?
That's a fossil. Okay, I'm not seeing anything I'm gonna dig. And then this is like bottom layer.
Ooh, this is interesting. I could probably get a few crowns for this.
It's weird that that one didn't ask me to tag it. Yeah, definitely doing better the
Well,
second
now,
time because I like know what the rules are. Oh, that's it. Yeah, tag that. Tag that stuff. That's bones. The bones are their money, or they were in prehistoric times. Or just
Say,
this. Discard that. I don't need that. We have a more serious approach to archaeology here, as opposed to
this
what?
Is interesting. Looks valuable. I'm keeping it.
Yeah, I would. Yeah, I mean, that's just mine. That one just belongs to me. Okay, doesn't look like there's anything else here. This is probably timed.
And what
Okay.
have we?
Oh, yeah, tag that. Tag skull. It's bones. It's probably something like recent, so I don't know that that one's particularly valuable, but
I can't.
might as well have her check it at least. And welcome to the stream. We're doing archaeology. I would talk to you more, but I think it's time. There's a hole in this boot. All right, dig for it.
Ooh,
It's the helix fossil. Tag that. We're gonna make an ammonite. I assume that in this world of etheric technology, we have the machine that turns fossils back into Pokemon. Really confusing advancement in technology, to be honest with you. All right, let's leave this place.
and what have we here?
What have we here? What have we? Yeah, it's like a fossil, like a tusk. I don't know.
Phew. I've been at this long enough.
I mean, that's a pretty good result.
All right, place everything you found on the table here, and we'll have a look. Not a bad yield. You found some quality fossils. As for your companion, goodness, you've also found some wonderful fossils.
Heck yeah!
This is quite a collection. Here is your fee, as we agreed. Thank you again for your assistance.
Don't mention it.
Hey, we made the
Good
full
luck with your
amount.
exhibition.
Made up for the fact that I got us robbed and didn't save scum. Heck yeah! Yeah, I think that was the right choice. I think I assessed my partner correctly there. I feel good about that one. Welcome, Neko. Glad people could join us for our brief expedition into archaeology. What are we on here? Let's see, we stopped for Cormac, we stopped for Badwater, the river expedition was kind of part of that, then the fossils. I'll call this part 4. I want to talk to Nadine again.
Nothing
And
to
did you
say,
enjoy
really.
fossils? Oh, okay. There's nothing to say, guys.
Phil?
Harley?
What's your favorite minigame you've ever played in any game? Oh, that's really interesting. I mean, I wouldn't say it like... We haven't done too many in this game to evaluate just that. That was part of the original question Keen asked. I mean, in this game, probably the fossil thing. That was fun once I, like, understood the rules. I must have clicked past it the first time. Clearly, there was, like, a little tutorial box, and I managed to skip past it pretty quick the second time, too. I'd have to think on that, though. I tend not to love most minigames, but surely there are a good number that I've liked.
Now we've got some time. Care to tell me about how you came to Vespuccia?
I can appreciate your curiosity, although
But I hate you.
it is painful to relate. But you may as well know. I had assembled Lieutenant General de la Vega and several of my men in Jicotea, a small village on the Loyola River. We were preparing an operation to liberate the nearby town of Caballo Viejo. The Spanish army had it under occupation for some weeks, seeking intelligence on our movements. But before we could act, they struck without warning, without mercy. They did not confine themselves to fighting armed revolutionary soldiers. Old men, women, children. All were valid targets in their eyes. All held collectively responsible for resisting Imperial rule. Victory was out of the question. We were hopelessly outmatched. Many brave souls laid down their lives to allow innocents a chance for escape. As civilians fled the village, I led the retreat north with Lieutenant General de la Vega. We gathered what we could of our forces from other positions along the way. It was clear that the army would relentlessly target any village known to harbor revolutionary cells and administer the same treatment. I left Jicotea a smoking ruin. I could not allow that to happen again. Temporary exile was the only alternative.
Oh, I see. Wasn't sure that was going until the very end. What did you miss? Not a ton, Neko. We've had a couple pit stops on our road trip. The first one was like a guy tried to convince us to drink some poison water, and I was trying to weigh what would be the most interesting thing to display. And we had an interesting outcome where Jake was just like, I'm gonna drink this water, apropos of nothing. And then he did, and it was like arsenic water, and then for some reason our character put up no resistance to the guy slowly walking over to Jake, taking his gun, and then stealing all of our cheap money at gunpoint. But then we saved a kid from a river, and then I made most of our money back from doing archaeology. So, I don't know, we're doing okay. I'm trying not to abuse the same scum thing. But, like, I don't know. For one, I did genuinely think something more interesting would happen than us just being robbed at gunpoint at that point in that conversation. But, like, also, in real life, I just, like, definitely wouldn't do that. Playing video games is weird, isn't it? Yeah, for some reason, it's kind of hard to think of, like, mini games off the top of your head, unless there's one that, like, really resonates with you. I'm trying to think. I don't know. Sam and Max had a bunch, and I kind of hated most of those. I tend not to like mini games. I bet there's some good, like, Mario Party ones that just aren't coming to mind. These sound like not great options. How long ago was that?
Just how temporary has this exile been?
A little more than a month now. I find it not so easy to keep count of the days.
Is there a class of minigames you really dislike? Sliding puzzles of most types, like a straightforward sliding puzzle, usually not great. Like most, you know, I complain about it a lot. I talked about it on yesterday's stream, but like adding timers to puzzles, I think typically makes them pretty insufferable. I remember when we, not that long ago, played through Super Mario RPG, I'd forgotten how many minigames there were, and I think I liked none of them. I think every time one came up, I didn't like it. What is it you're fighting for?
So, this revolution. What exactly is it you're fighting for?
What does any man who is oppressed fight for? Freedom. Simple as that. The Imperial government has grown fat on the labor of the masses. They torture and imprison anyone who dares speak out against their abuses. My people and I are straining to throw off the yoke of colonialism.
We'll talk more later.
I look forward to it.
Well, yeah, stealth minigames can be rough. It kind of depends on how those can be hit or miss.
Hey, Danny, let's talk.
Sure.
I'm still impressed at how you just jumped in after that kid.
I'm just glad we were able to save him. It's nice to be on a team again, like old times.
A team? Like those folks you mentioned before?
Yeah.
Like a gang?
My best friend Petey was our leader. Petey and I left El Presidio along with 5 of our friends. We were looking for new lives out on the frontier. I told my parents we were pooling our money together to buy a farm, which was true. Except, we didn't
We were
actually
pooling our
have
none
any
money for left
Petey took
beat.
charge, and we all started off working odd jobs here and there. But he got impatient. He got it into his head that it would be easy money rob a stagecoach. I didn't much care for the idea, but once Petey put his mind to something, there was no turning back. So the big day came, and things didn't go so well.
I don't know, miracle you made it this far, Danny.
I was the only one who did.
Yeah, I
I'm
kind of got that
sorry.
sense.
Me too. I just wish I'd said something more. Push back harder on the whole idea. But honestly, talking about it helps. So, thanks, I guess.
Leger, get up here a minute, would you?
Keen says he really hates sliding
What's going
block
on?
puzzles and actually
I don't
hacked the
much
save file on
care
his
for the
old
looks
Museum
of that
Madness
style.
game to skip it.
No? Looks fine
Wonderful.
to me.
Perfect.
Give it half
No
an
notes.
hour and it won't. There's a dust storm coming. We need to seek shelter fast.
You can't just stop and wait it out on the wagon?
Even secured, there's a chance it could blow over. I'm not
Don't we want
risking
the storm to blow
There's
over?
a house up ahead a ways.
JK.
We'll stop and see if we can shelter there.
All right. I'll let the others know. Lola wasn't kidding about the storm picking up. Is someone living here?
Rattlesnake. Yeah, I saved recently, it's fine. One of the options is open. It's so rude.
Hello? Anybody home? No answer. And wouldn't you know it, it's locked. Good thing I've got these lockpicks.
I was gonna say. Ah.
Oh!
Can I help you with something?
My companions and I need a place to ride out the storm. We thought this house was abandoned.
Well, it's not. But how many are ye?
There's 6 of us. That's our wagon back there on the road.
Well then, go fetch 'em.
You're sure?
Aw.
I won't have ye blow away on me porch. And you'll be keeping an old man company. So long as you're not bandits or thieves, are ye?
No, sir. We're fortune seekers. Of an honest sort.
Then we'll be getting along just fine. Now, get your folk in here quick, before we all get whisked to Kingdom Come.
I like this guy. We have to protect him.
Appreciate you letting us ride out the storm in here, sir.
Ooh, look at that painting.
Mighty
It's a
good.
Lamplight City
Of
landscape.
course. As I told your mate,
And
I'm
covering
glad
it
for
with
the
my
company.
face.
Welcome to me home. I'm Captain Philip Boylan. Pleasure's all ours. I'm Jake Ackerman. And this is Miss Leger, Mr. Luo, Mr. Marquez, Ms. Redbird, and Miss Johnson. Fine-looking crew, sure. And not to worry, there's plenty of space here. I've a spare room upstairs and a settee in the library.
Tips on a bed. You need help with
We're
anything?
grateful for your hospitality.
Hey,
Anything we
Delish,
can help
welcome to
with?
the stream.
As a matter of fact, there is. I was about to start supper. Seeing as I'm setting extra places, I could use a couple more hands.
I'd be glad to help.
As would I.
Ah, grand.
It's interesting. Do I? I forget. Does anyone remember if our player character has implied that she has skills cooking? Definitely wasn't a fan of Blitzball. I thought about mentioning Blitzball. I sort of enjoy Blitzball in an ironic sense, but it's not particularly good in its own right. I mean, if you count that Christmas section of Resonance of Fate where you throw gifts at children like grenades, that one's pretty good. It's not really a mini game. It's just sort of like a reskin of combat. With merriment and really blocky reindeer costumes. I'm gonna thank Nadine and Danny.
Looks like you have your kitchen crew assembled. Thanks for stepping up, you two. Have fun.
All right, shall we? The rest of ye, make yourselves at home. I'll sound the gong when supper's ready. Seems a nice enough feller.
Indeed.
He must be lonely to take in a bunch of strangers like this.
This is a stupid option. You took us in, are you lonely? It's immaterial whether she is. We paid her a bunch of money for this. It's like a job. I've always been good at seem to like Sudoku style minigames. I guess in a sense. I wouldn't say I'm like particularly attached to Sudoku, but I feel like they sort of represent a larger subsection of like logic-based puzzle games, and those are often treated like mini games. I do tend to like those. That's a fair point.
Maybe. He seems like a kind man.
I do not know about you, but I am curious to see this library. See you all at dinner.
I'll be upstairs.
Miss Johnson is a wet blanket.
Exploring a spooky old house. What fun. See you later, Harley.
That walk cycle looks a little awkward on the stairs. I was paying attention to it when Miss Johnson went upstairs. I don't know, maybe I should have done the kitchen? Yeah, I'm not surprised this door is locked. I'm a little troubled by that.
A seaside landscape. I'm detecting a theme.
It seems the good captain is an avid reader.
No kidding. The label says Barbados rum.
Didn't we used to have like a pre-Glade plug-in style like air freshener that looked like this? I feel like we did.
Such an intricate design.
Must have taken ages to carve.
Some kind of navigational instrument. I haven't a clue how it works. A poker for stoking the fire.
Harley, what are you doing? Shh! We are Captain Boylan's guests, not common bandits.
Alright, I have to knock Phil unconscious so I can steal this poker. I'm the good guy, I promise. I guess maybe I should just make note of where things are in case this turns south. And maybe I'm supposed to talk to him. I should probably also... I'll just use the road trip if I really need to. I'm not trying to save scum the game, but also, like, I never know when things are timed and things can go badly.
Such curious objects.
Alright, that wasn't as interesting as I thought it might be. Hello, game?
Danny and Nadine are helping prepare dinner. I shouldn't interrupt.
What can I find out by looking around this house?
A plain old sea chest. The plaque says the Corunna. Oh, that's interesting. There's a little model sailor that looks kind of like Captain Boylan.
The Corunna.
This is the water closet.
In alternate history America, we call them that.
I've seen this sort of thing before. I believe it's called scrimshaw.
Ship, whale, pelican, lighthouse.
Got an old sailing ship on it.
I don't know if this is a combination
It's
lock.
been carved with a whale design. It's got a seabird on it. A pelican, I think. Someone carved a lighthouse onto this.
They have like different line etchings. This is like a Charlie Brown shirt. This is just like a straight line with dots. This is a faint zigzag and then nothing on the lighthouse. Interesting.
Miss Johnson, there you are.
Yep.
Can you see anything through that spyglass?
Just the wagon. Wanted to make sure it's standing up to the storm.
That's fair enough.
And is it?
Seems to be.
Okay.
Excuse me, won't you?
She really hates being in the presence of other people, to like a truly extreme degree. This could also be a hat.
A musty-smelling mess of laundry. Captain Boylan was quite dashing in his youth. It's empty. finely carved. Must be quality craftsmanship. I shouldn't be snooping.
Dude, something bad's gonna happen here. It makes me sad. The captain seems like a cool guy. Ooh.
Wasted no time making yourself comfortable, I see.
My back's been acting up lately, you know? Truth is, it's been a
Also
while
drank that
since I was
arsenic.
out on the road like this, camping with only a bedroll every night. Guess I got used to inns and soft mattresses. And there's a decent bed in the show wagon. Now, it ain't like I've gone soft or nothing, just, you know, showing my old bones some love.
Why does this room look
remember the
familiar?
last time this table was so full. How are you finding the fare?
Not bad.
Most satisfactory.
Satisfactory!
The very soul of rustic simplicity. Quite simple and, unadorned.
And no adornment needed. My compliments to the kitchen. Helpers included.
In any case, it's been a real pleasure having a proper meal at a table.
Been rough.
Are we all gonna die?
And how? A campfire don't compare to this.
Where are ye folks headed?
El Presidio.
Ah, I used to sail out of there.
Why does an old man living alone have a dinner gong? Because it's fun? Who has a dinner gong in general? Because it's fun? I don't know. I want to hear about you.
Captain, I must admit I'm curious to know more about you.
Well, I'm flattered, Miss Leger. Although, I can assure ye there's nothing much exciting about this old sea dog. At least not nowadays.
You said you sailed from El Presidio, Captain Boylan?
Aye, for many a year. I used to captain a whaler.
No kidding. You must have some stories.
A fair few. I could tell ye about the largest beast we ever snared. The one what took me leg.
Let's hear it.
Go on then, tell us.
It was back in 25. We was circling a lagoon off the coast of New Spain. We were on the point of giving up, when suddenly, a great monster breaches off the port bow. She was the biggest I'd ever seen. I shouted the order to launch the whaleboats in pursuit. Me men put all their backs and all their hearts into rowing, and soon we was on her. All around, the water was churning white with foam. The beast surfaced again so close, we nearly capsized. But the harpooner had steady legs, and a steadier aim on him, and he struck true. Then, the battle began. Oh, how she thrashed and reared. Somehow, the rope got wrapped round me leg, and pulled, and tore almost clean through. I thought I was a goner for sure, but it wasn't over yet.
Hey,
At
anyone,
last, the beast
any literature
tired out.
enjoyers in chat
We
able to tell me if this
hauled her
is
in
just Moby
as
Dick?
we
It sounds like this
get
might
down.
just be Moby Dick.
Cutting her up was no easy job. She was 50 foot if she was an inch.
If we caught her, then
Good some,
probably
all
not.
that oil and blubber. But it wasn't only the whale went under the knife that night. Doc cut me up too, taking care of what little was left of me leg by that point. Saved me life.
Quite a tale.
That poor creature.
I doubt you'd feel that way if you met one yourself, Missy.
How about we just finish our dinner? If anybody has an appetite left after that story.
Aye, fair enough.
I kind of figured someone would get mad at me choosing to have the story happen during dinner, and
a
I
fine
would have
meal
guessed
should
it
be
was her.
followed by
So,
some
good
fine
instinct, I
rum
guess.
and conversation. Would you care to join me in the library?
That sounds like a perfect way to pass the evening.
I'm going to retire. Sounds like the storm's died down, so I'm bunking in the wagon.
You sure that's a good idea, Miss Johnson?
I'm sure. See y'all bright and early.
Sure you won't have some rum, Miss Redbird?
I'm sure. Thank you.
And for you, Miss Leger.
No. I've become more skeptical of everything in this world after being robbed at my friend's gunpoint.
You can spare me a pour as well, Captain.
Aye, fair enough. A toast to new friends.
Cheers!
Just
Damn, where'd you say this stuff came from?
A gift.
the arsenic
An
pond.
old friend in Barbados. Best rum in the world, in my opinion.
You're not wrong. He's definitely got
plenty
like
more,
actual
fella.
like Pirate of the
Welcome to it.
Caribbean
Now then, Mr. Marquez, I had a question.
like voiceover guy
I
vibes.
may have an answer.
Am I mistaken, or are ye of the new Spanish persuasion?
I am, yes.
Ha! Grand! I'd like ye to have this.
I knew it was going to be the guitar. Just gonna give it to him,
Belonged
eh?
to an old friend of mine. New Spanish, like yourself. He used to play the most beautiful music. He left her to me when he died, but I always felt she should return to her proper home, as it were.
I am honored.
Suppose I ought to have asked if you play.
Probably.
In fact, I do. A little bit, anyway.
Go on, then. Give us a song.
Very well, but let me tune her first.
Can you play chopsticks on a guitar?
That should do. Now, let's see if I remember.
Is holding that funny? I think that's true, right? Would he normally be holding it up closer to the neck with his right hand, since he's apparently left-handed? Can you play a guitar with chopsticks? Interesting question, also, Demolition.
Goodness,
I
that
like
was
that.
beautiful. Where did you learn that?
Thank you, Harley. I had a tutor as a child. My father insisted I learn to play something.
Was it a vampiric
so
tutor?
I chose the guitar.
Maybe an idyllic
Well,
tutor?
ain't you just full of surprises?
I think this calls for another round.
Here, here.
It's a lot of fading to black. Tech would be furious.
It's been a grand evening. But this old salt needs his beauty sleep. Stay up late as ye like. All I ask is ye not disturb me in me quarters. I'm not a light sleeper, but I can be a right bastard when startled.
I promise we'll steer clear and tiptoe quieter than the angels. Good night, Captain.
See ye all in the morning.
Don't know about you folks, but I ain't ready to bed down just yet.
Yes, the night is
This is
still
the guy
young.
who was like
What say we
napping
have
before
a couple
dinner.
more rounds?
The rum's all gone now.
Captain Boylan said he had
Why is
more
the
in
rum
cellar.
gone?
I'll just go fetch a bottle or two.
That feels a little presumptuous. He didn't exactly say, you know, take whatever you'd like or
Bad
what have you.
news. Cellar's locked.
Oh, chingada.
Guess the party's over then?
Not necessarily. Harley, would you be so kind as to apply your skills to a problem?
Listen. We've reached a point where the game is a lot more assertive about like not letting you save at points where you'd be able to save scum, which is an interesting choice. Because it'll just like lead cutscene into like relevant choice kind of thing. Yeah, I like the only real consideration here in Echo is like I like doing I like having as much information as possible, so I'm curious what's in the basement. Like, I want to, like, explore the house, but, like, I don't really want, like... There's enough house that I'm suspicious that there's some way that this visit could go wrong, but I don't think it's worth, like, breaking... Like, it'd be different if he said, like, you know, feel free to have another drink or something like that. But, like, all he said was, like, stay up if you like, just don't wake me. There's like a difference. He didn't like fully invite us to just like do whatever we wanted. So like breaking into his basement, like breaking into like a locked room without an invitation is like definitely like not chill. So I really don't think that we should do this, even though like the party might be mad at me. I think I'm actually in like kind of a quirky spot with my party, because like I keep like getting to know them by talking to them and hearing their stories, but then, like, basically doing everything possible to make them dislike me.
Oh, no, you can just forget it. I'm not breaking into the cellar.
Who said anything about breaking in? We have permission. The lock is merely an oversight on the part of our host.
Disagree. I do not feel as though permission was given.
Do it, we'll yield.
Okay. Fact check. Does anyone in chat feel like we were given an invitation? I do not feel like that is the case. That feels like an erroneous argument from someone who wants more rum. That's what that sounds like. Yeah, I mean, generally speaking, you're not wrong, Neko, that, like, simply the fact that it's locked implies that you are not welcome there without some sort of explicit invitation.
I said no.
If Harley won't get that door open, I will.
Oh my
I
god.
think that may be an even worse idea.
That is definitely a worse
Are you going to blow
idea.
the door open with dynamite?
Of course not. But I will find a way. Unless Harley has had a change of heart.
I don't know how to deal with that. Yeah, right? Like, this guy just got a gift of an entire guitar from someone who was, like, he was at least trying to respect this guy's, like, heritage, which is, like, pretty cool. It's a pretty cool guy thing to do. Let them dig their own hole. But, okay, it's not as simple as that, right? Because then I think, obviously, you would just say no. But the idea is that Phil here is, like, a demolitions expert. So if he's saying that he'll find another way to open the door, it could be really bad. He could, like best case scenario, he could wake the guy up, and that is the one thing he truly did explicitly ask us not to do. So I'm kind of torn here. The game presents a surprising amount of dilemmas and, like, relatively little adventure gaming. It's interesting. It's a different sort of game than I thought it was. Ugh. You know what's kind of ironic is, like, I feel like what I should be able to say here is the garbage that they had Gentleman Jack say at the oil rig, which is like, you should let me know what your plan is so I can help. Because, like, if he's gonna do something, like, obviously irresponsible, then it might be worth committing to opening the door. No, I won't do it. Like, I don't want to have any part of upsetting the guy. I acknowledge that there's an unfortunate risk that letting them do this may be the thing that upsets our host, but, like, I don't want to be the one responsible for it.
You can get that door open yourself if you're so determined.
Come, Jake, give me a hand.
I think he's gonna cut Jake's hand
I
off.
hope they know what they're doing.
Ay, carajo!
Damn it, I'd better go check on those fools.
Did they just...
Nice work, Phil.
What did he do?
I will be feeling that in
He
the
can't
morning.
have kicked it because the door doesn't open the right way.
What are you two doing?
What you wouldn't. Come on, Phil.
In fact, I would prefer not to climb stairs on this foot right now.
Fair enough. Harley?
Fine, but just to see you don't break your neck on the way down. Sure is dark.
How about we light that wall lamp?
Oh wait, I still have some of my fossil stuff.
This will help us see down here if we can light it.
I don't really have stuff to light stuff with.
A piece of petrified wood from the desert. An old Spanish doubloon.
I don't know why I have these things. What a peculiar game this is.
Gotta be matches around here somewhere.
Do there gotta be? Is that a thing that we feel like has gotta be true? not seeing a lot of, like, hitboxes around here, to be honest with you. It's Darkest Basement, the prequel to Darkest Dungeon. It's certainly...
Don't mind if I do.
It's certainly a lower stakes version of Darkest Dungeon. But we should have some torchlight if we don't want to face the Shambler.
Much better.
Now, about that rum.
What was that?
Sounded like the captain's voice. Come on.
Didn't sound like the captain to me.
You heard it too, huh?
Yes, it came from upstairs, I think.
It sounded like Captain Boylan, but aren't his quarters on this floor?
I thought the same.
Like
Perhaps
the
we should go
promise of
see if
safety.
he's all right.
Yep,
The way
you
is
and Miss
lit, the
Redbird
path is
check
clear.
The spare room. Danny and I'll check the bedroom. Harley, you look in the captain's quarters. We ain't got time to lose.
Boyland? I thought I'd be the only one thinking that this whole time. My name is Boyland. Any Adventure Zone followers here? That's not good.
Odd. Captain Boylan's not here. Where could he have gone?
I assume that's a really tiny pillow and not a letter from the captain. I'm looking for a letter from the captain. Don't
There's
be
an
mad
old
at me
book
for
in here.
rifling.
A journal. Better take it.
Okay, we changed our mind really quickly about
There's
the
not
nature.
much in here. I guess Captain Boylan didn't care much for writing. Here's an interesting passage.
Okay.
Fisher landed another whale today on his first shot. I asked him how he managed it. Turns out he's been tying his wife's kerchief to the harpoon handle. Swears it brings luck and improves his aim. Ah, to be young and in love.
There's a harpoon in this house. I wonder if that's meant to be a tip to solve something later.
Looks like a sea bunk. Guess old habits die hard. The captain still has some old country pride.
I don't know what country flag that's supposed to be.
The storm has eased up some. I shouldn't be snooping around.
Interesting. Doesn't look like I could take the harpoon.
Imagine bringing down a giant whale with something like that. The others are looking upstairs.
So I can only go in the general quarters and the captain's quarters? Didn't seem like there's anything else to do in here. What am I missing? Is there a false back to the closet?
Can't really see anything in here.
Well, I suppose I could light a match.
Hang on. What's this? There's a small switch in the back.
Are we Scooby-Dooing? What are we Scooby-Dooing here?
Well, I'll be damned.
So that's a room temperature dam, I believe.
Captain,
He's got like a big Nautilus window.
you're still breathing, thank God.
He looks
Hang
like his
on,
eyes are
I'll get
open.
help.
I shouldn't be snooping around immediately after stealing the diary. Good point, good point.
He appears to be fine physically, but he seems to be in some sort of trance.
A trance? How do you mean?
His eyes are open, but he's not really awake. He's gone within himself. I've seen people do this voluntarily, to meditate or relive certain memories, but Captain Boylan seems trapped.
Is there anything we can do?
I'm not entirely sure. Did he say anything
Not
when you found him,
entirely
Harley?
sure.
Not a word.
I'm at a loss. Something brought this on, but what?
Maybe it was something at dinner?
We all had the same food. No one else had this reaction.
You said this room was hidden, right, Harley?
That's right.
So
We walked
does
through
it
a
maybe
closet.
have
What do
some
you think?
special meaning for Captain Boylan?
That's a very good point. I would say this place is a sanctuary.
But from what? The man lives alone in the desert already. What's he need a secret sanctuary for?
Look, on the wall there.
Everyone else stay put. I'll go look at it.
It's a sketch of Captain Boylan with 5 other men. His crew, maybe? There's a signature. A. Kranich.
Kranich! God forgive me.
What the
Captain,
heck?
can you hear me?
The doom? The doom!
What doom? What do you mean?
I came from nowhere. I ought to have taken heed. I ought to have let it take me.
Captain? Captain? He's unresponsive again.
How's his pulse? You know, he's obviously suffering.
Poor man. It's clear he's suffering.
I only wish I could diagnose the cause.
I think
Natural
have an idea.
causes.
Yes?
That chair, the way it's positioned, facing that sketch, this room being hidden, I think something happened to those men. Something bad. And I think the captain blames himself for it.
I mean, yeah.
Probably comes in here to punish himself.
Oh, how you figure that?
Because, well, call it a hunch.
I don't know.
I also have a
Seems
secret
kinda
chamber.
far-fetched, don't it?
Not entirely. I've read some of the new theories about the study of the mind. A particularly traumatic event may have shaken Captain Boylan's sanity.
So he has gone mad.
Yes,
It
but
really is
he
Darkest
may not
Dungeon,
be
and the
beyond
captain's
help.
class is
We could try to
flagellant.
reach him. I could try a form of hypnosis.
Oh, sure.
Which
That's
form
where
of
you get him
hypnosis?
to cluck like a chicken, right?
Not at all. It means he would be calmed and put into a receptive state. Then we could speak directly with his unconscious mind. But to have the best chance, we would have to recreate the environment he's experiencing as accurately as possible.
Recreate the environment? Just how do you propose we do that?
We must each take on a role.
Oh, you mean like play acting?
Something like that. If we can each convincingly assume the identities of the men in that sketch, the captain may feel they are truly here with him. His fantasy will become clear, and we'll be able to guide him through and out of it.
Sounds just crazy enough to work.
But we know nothing about these men, aside from what they look like.
Which means we need to find out more. The more details we have, the better.
Then let's put this show together. Harley, you're good at finding things. See if Captain Boylan had a diary or something.
All
Way
right,
ahead of
I'm
you.
on it.
Let me just read that diary real quick again.
There's not much in here. I guess here's an interesting.
Fisher landed another whale today. Turns out he's been tying.
Alright, so all I'm gonna get is what I already had there.
That's
Fair
Captain
enough.
Boylan on the left. The 5 other men must be his crew, but I have no idea who any of them are.
So top hat, telescope, harpoon. Harpoon needs a handkerchief tied to it. We need the carving of the pelican, I guess. Maybe a book on diseases. And then some overalls? I don't know what that other person's deal is. Let me go rummage around. This is sort of my jam. Just in case this is timed, which I hope it's not. Like, I will actually, I think, legitimately be mad if this is timed, because this feels like an interesting thing that, like, that isn't improved by doing that. So let me go ahead and take this harpoon.
Can't reach it from down here.
You're killing me. How do I get up there? Is there did anyone notice a stepping stool around here? Like a ladder? It's an interestingly placed, like, dustpan.
Stocked, but not with anything I need. Not much inside. There is a folded up piece of paper. Seems to be a recipe for sea biscuits. There's a note. Your favorites. Told you they were simple to make. Perhaps someday you can whip some up for me. It's initialed GOM. Atlases, travelogues, and naval histories. Classical dialogues, poetry, and natural philosophy.
I'm sorry, Vasco. You can't reach it because you're on the little screen again. No, put me on the big screen. I need to reach. That's my greatest weakness.
Classical dialogue.
Table chair. It doesn't seem to like table chair. Oh, this must be the shelf. It has the other mouse cursor.
I wouldn't even know where to begin.
What are you talking about?
These shelves are full of ship's logbooks. Captain Boylan had a long career. These shelves... I wouldn't...
I know where to begin. Find a book on diseases.
Nautical adventure.
No, whatever. Get bent. Okay, let's go upstairs. I need the hat and a telescope. Also pretty sure I need... I don't know, the shape was different. In miniature, it was hard to tell. Maybe it's the whale?
It's been carved with a...
I'll come back for that, I think. So I need the telescope. I need this hat.
I'll take this hat.
She said that's so weird. I'll take the hat.
Looks like a navigational chart. I'll take it with me.
We're in like peak adventure game mode in terms of how arbitrary the things we will and won't take have become, like immediately. Is there anything in here I care about? Didn't really get a great look at this place.
There's an empty bottle and a note in here. I'll take the note.
What's the note say?
Captain Boylan, I recommend taking 1 nitroglycerin tablet per day and avoiding overexcitement. Dr. Francois.
So he's got a heart condition?
There's a path drawn around an island that says Detour. The name of the island's been crossed out.
Well, this game doesn't let me pee, but I can wash my hands. You know that this is the antithesis of the way I like to play video games.
This is the water closet.
Can I open this chest and not make anyone mad?
Spare linens and an old sketch.
This guy's organizational system is even more insane than my own.
A sketch of a ship. The Derwent. There's a note. Captain Boylan, looking forward to our first voyage together. Signed A. Cranach. Cranach? That's the same name on the sketch in the attic. So the Derwent must be the ship I'm looking for.
This is not the Derwent, right? This had some...
The plaque says... Oh,
Karuna.
that's interesting. And that other one there looks like one of the men in the attic sketch. I need to figure out exactly who it is.
What a perplexing puzzle this is. I'm into this, but it's weird. Alright, let me go take another look at the sketch now that I've like rummaged around. Maybe like check the basement? Maybe check the basement first? Obvious I care about in the basement? Nitroglycerin?
A crate chock full of rum bottles.
Oh, hey, wait a minute. Take this. This is a step stool. It's a literal step stool.
This crate's been emptied.
I got distracted. What was this thing? Rum bottle.
Probably full of more rum.
Why is the rum gone?
Another unlit lamp.
Tragedy. Use one of the infinite supply of matches.
There we are.
So I can look at this.
An old navigational chart. Looks awfully familiar.
Can I compare?
These two charts show the same land masses. The island crossed out on my chart is called Hastrum Scary.
That's a ridiculous name for an island.
Enough rum to last a lifetime. Or an evening.
Depending on your
Enough
company.
rum
Yeah, check this.
No rum in here.
Man's got a lot of rum. I suppose he's a sailor. I feel like that's all I need from here for now, at least. Hastrum's scary. Can I get myself a handkerchief? I don't really have one, right? I don't even have that, like, torn flag anymore. Can I grab that from the laundry? Can I just take, like, a loose rag from there? Or from the like, washcloth that's, like, associated with, this thing? No? No hitbox on that? Fair enough. Pillows are not accessible. Doesn't look like this will have a viable hitbox anymore either.
Musty.
But I'll try combining. Nope, no hitbox. I'm gonna take another look at the sketch. I'm making some progress. Any one of these carvings. Taking a second look at them, I think it's whale, and I kind of look like pelican based on the tiny image. Does it have a handkerchief? Has anyone in this family even seen a chicken?
That's Captain Boylan on the left. The 5 other men must be his crew, but I have no idea who any of them are.
So I'm assuming the harpoon guy is named Fisher, unless perhaps that's just his title. And yeah, I'm pretty sure this one's Whale, the little figurine he's got there. I could use an apron, I guess. Maybe make some of that dude's biscuits. He's like WOM. Am I supposed to find, like, names? Also, do these clouds look a little like a jack-o'-lantern to anyone else? I love that the guy who's presumably the ship's doctor just has a book labeled diseases, like, visible in his pocket at all times. Blanket's just a larger handkerchief. Yeah, but then I have to, like, ruin his blanket. Or tie it so much that it breaks the illusion. Where would I find just like a list of like names for these dudes?
A sketch of a ship. The Derwent. Captain Boylan, looking forward to our first voyage together. That's Captain. 5 other men.
So a doctor needs whale carving and a book on disease. Are there like hitboxes to like look at stuff? No, there's not. It's annoying because like I look at this and like the book of diseases stands out as like an obvious thing, and I go to the library and there's like a shelf that clearly wants to be interacted with, and she's like, I don't know where I'd start with that. I'm like, I'd start by looking for a book labeled diseases. So I have telescope, I have hat. I don't really feel like either of them has like a distinguishing feature other than presumably wanting to know their name. I've got little carving. I don't have anything for this guy, who I think is the cook, and then I have the harpoon, but not the handkerchief, and the handkerchief seems important. Are there other hitboxes in here that matter?
Boylan set up a sort of shrine from the look of it.
The answer appears to be no. I can talk to these folks, but...
That's Captain. 5 other men.
Neko, did you see something in this photo that implied the guitar was in it? I saw your comment on that, and like, you're not wrong, that feels like that could apply here, but like, I don't feel like I'm seeing it. The telescope guy could be the Spanish guy. True. That's very possible. Could be the harpoon guy. He kind of looks not Spanish to me. The others all look pretty white. Keeping it real with you. Look at this again.
Not much seems to be a rest. There's a note. Your favorites. Told you they were. It's initialed
G-O-M. Gom. Just assume the old man has literally known only 6 people. It's not that I question that. It's just that, like, it seems like we're trying to recreate the picture. I'm just trying to make sure I wasn't missing something there about how, like, that was, like, immediately relevant to the picture. Actually, I have, like, a weird idea. What if I say the name of that weird island to him? Will he have a reaction to that?
There's gotta be.
I hope we're...
There's a path drawn. It's crossed out on here, but the island is.
So if I select this and, like, click it on
That
him...
won't help.
I'm afraid I don't
Seems like
A sketch of a ship.
What was this one again?
Captain Boylan. I recommend taking 1 nitroglycerin tablet per day and avoiding overexcitement. Dr. Francois.
So Dr. Francois, obviously the doctor. He's the guy who has the whale figurine sculpture thing. Then we have the cook, who's G-O-M, who we don't have, like, a name for. There's Fisher from the Journal, who is a fisher, shocking everyone. Let me go get that little carving, I guess. Do I need this feather?
The captain won't miss this for now.
I could take the ink pot.
The bottle's nearly full.
Don't know why I need that.
The captain's. No mirror.
No ticket. Don't think there's anything in the pantry I need. I don't know about any of this
Well stocked.
cast iron oven business. What else there? There's a lot of space and not a lot of belongings, which seems somewhat appropriate. Oh wait, maybe one of these paintings has the ship I'm looking for.
Nice to be able to freshen up. A sketch of a
And seek the Derwent. Isn't that one of those things that they,
This is the water closet.
Samantha's mother-in-law from Bewitched calls her husband? The Derwent? I get the general idea of this, but I feel like I'm missing a couple pieces.
Seaside landscape. Nautical adventures. We're in the middle of the desert, but it feels like we could be at sea. The label says Barbados rum. This could be useful.
I've taken the poker, mainly just because I wanted to.
Ah, Here we are. The logbook for the Derwent.
Why did that? Oh, whatever. The logbook for the Derwent.
The Derwent sailed out of El Presidio in 1830. Listed crew is Captain Philip Boylan, First Mate Michael Benelli, Navigator Karenga Payo, Harpooner Jalal Fisher, Dr. Jonas Francois, Cook George O'Malley, and Alfred Cranach, Profession Unlisted.
Wasn't that interesting? So now that I have this logbook that she suddenly was able to pluck out of the same shelf I looked at before, can I use those names on him? Or compare the logbook to the picture to start having her lock in details that are somewhat obvious? I can't talk to him. So let's select book, compare.
Well, that won't help.
I'm not sure what
Okay, I guess here's what I'm getting hung up on here. Like, the basic idea of this is fairly straightforward, and I'm into it. Of, like,
That's Captain Boylan on the left.
to convince him that we're his...
To the ship's
Okay.
log, these other men are Harpooner Jalal Fisher.
It just behaves
Cook
differently
George
when I have that
O'Malley,
information.
Dr. Jonas Francois, First Mate Michael Benelli, and Navigator Karenga Payo.
I hope we're able.
That's Captain Boylan on the left. According to the ship's log,
I just don't know how to, like, lock this stuff in. So if I just, like, give, like, the whale statue to Nadine, is that something? Because, like, she's probably the doctor analog? Like, it's just not clear to me how to, like, lock this in.
We ought to find out who those men in the sketch are before amassing a collection of trinkets.
Okay, but, like, it's like, this is what I started saying, is, like, I get the premise. I don't know what methodology the game wants me to take to demonstrate that I understand each character. Because, like, you know, one way I could do that is have them all just sort of stand roughly in the configuration of the photo and I hand them stuff. Another would be that, like, there's a shelf in front of the painting and I, like, set stuff in front of each of the people, and then once I've, like, put everything in the right place, the game processes that as me understanding their identities and we move on from there. But, like, I don't get what... I don't get how the game... I don't get how to tell the game when I understand this.
Poor Captain Boylan.
Let me know when you found something that might tell...
Okay.
I found the ship's log for the crew in the sketch.
Nicely done. Let's have a look.
Why would I have to tell Jack that?
Right,
Why is that
so
the thing
we
that
got a
changes
first
this?
Mate, navigator, harpooner, doctor, cook, and artist. We can probably leave that last one out.
Okay, so Danny can be the cook, Nadine the doctor, Phil the harpooner, you can be the navigator, and I'll be the first mate.
Oh, don't you think I ought to be the first mate?
Does it really matter?
Reckon not. Right, now all we need are some props.
Props?
Sure, for authenticity. Have another look at the sketch. Each of the crewmen is either wearing or holding something unique.
Jake's right. If we each have the appropriate item, it will increase our chances of convincing the captain that we are his former crew. I'd also suggest trying to learn at least one personal detail about each one, just in case.
Okay, I'll have a look around.
Bring me any items you find.
And let me know when you're ready to begin the performance.
This is a lot to keep track of. I'd better
Oh,
make a
please do
list.
that. I feel like this is definitely something I would do. First mate. Okay, so it updates when you get stuff. So harpooner is Fisher, prop, question mark, info, ties wife, kerchief to harpoon for luck. So then I don't need to actually find the kerchief? Yeah, this is way more clear, but like... maybe he said something at the start of this where it was like, I am the gateway through which the puzzle happens, but like that wasn't clear to me. So I've been like going around trying to do all this analog with like no like tracking from the game, and like no like I very much understand this idea, but I was just like, I don't know, like the game isn't giving me a sense that I'm progressing through this, even though like I'm definitely like getting progress here. You're here. You'll be sure to leave a comment this time. I appreciate it, Sniper Justin, but also last time when I told you to do that, it took me a really long time to get the video up, and then the same thing happened another week in a row. So I don't really have anything about the first mate that's true, but I have info on everyone else, so I'm even further along in this than I thought. I don't know what the cook's prop is. But the doctor's prop is the... Here, let me just start giving stuff. This is for the doctor.
Here's a carved whale tooth for Dr. Francois.
This one's you, Miss Redbird.
A bit tight, but not the worst look.
I do enjoy that this game lets me use items as hats.
Here, this is the hat First Mate Benelli wore.
Perfect. I'll hang on to it.
The harpoon.
Here's a harpoon for Mr. Fisher.
All right, this one's yours, Phil.
I do hope this works.
How you doing, by the way, Justin? Give the telescope.
Spyglass for Navigator Pio.
Great.
So I need info for the first mate and a prop for the cook. That sounds about right. But it's helpful for the game to keep track of it when it's like 10 different things to find. What do I have to do to start giving items? I had to get the logbook, which I argue the logic for getting that's a little wonky. But even when I had it, I had to then give the logbook to Jake, and then like Jake decided that he would explain the rules of the activity. So like, it was a little convoluted, to be fair.
The bottle's nearly full.
I don't know what this or the poker are for.
That's Captain Boylan on the left. According to the ship's log, these other men are Harpooner Jalal Fisher, Cook George O'Malley, Dr. Jonas Francois, First Mate Michael Benelli, and Navigator Karenga Pio.
I guess you could argue that I could use the ink from the like quill set to like do an anchor tattoo for the cook. I don't know how to convey that to Jake.
I found this inkwell and quill. Should work for drawing O'Malley's tattoo on Danny.
Right. I'll hold on to this thing until it's time.
Okay,
Nice
I had the
work,
right
Harley.
idea there.
I think we got all the props we need.
So I just need to ideally find a piece of information about the first mate. Do we know anything about him to get a specific thing? Oh, the ship. The little ship model. That's like basically the one thing we like didn't sort out, right? It's probably that. I think we're gonna have a successful
The
seance.
says the Corunna. Oh, that's interesting. There's a little model sailor that looks kind of like Captain Boylan. And that looks like First Mate Benelli. They must have been shipmates.
They were shipmates. Okay, against my better judgment, I'm gonna do something real quick. Check out behind my face. This painting here, I'm fairly certain this was a scene backdrop in Lamplight City. It's a fun little homage, I guess. Not exactly an Easter egg, but just make sure that Nope. Read it. Great. Okay, that counted. All good. So now we tell Nadine that we're ready to do our fake seance, and we'll see what happens. You'll go to a saving over Darkest Basement 2.
Is everything ready to go? Keep in mind, we'll likely only get one chance at this.
Arbitrary, but yeah, I don't think we're doing any better than we have. We ransacked his whole house and learned his life
I
story.
think so. I've found everything I can.
Excellent. Let's gather everything together and get started.
This should be fun.
I'll begin. Then we can each say who we are. Captain Boylan, hear the voices of your former crew.
Me crew?
Go ahead, Harley. You start.
First mate Michael Vanelli reporting for duty, Captain Boylan.
Sounds just like him.
Can it be?
Captain Boylan, it's Karenga Payo, your navigator.
Payo, you're alive?
How are you guys making
Captain
lightning
Boylan,
strike?
It's me, George O'Malley. Supper is almost ready.
Ah, yes, I can smell it. Delicious.
Do we play the rest of the game as these people?
I am Jalal Fisher, harpooner.
Of course, Fisher! I knew you'd made it.
And I am Dr. Jonas Francois.
Doc! Oh, Doc, how I've needed you. Me crew? Can it be?
Yes, Captain.
I never thought we'd be on a
We've come to
boat.
speak with you.
But you're not some devils sent to trick me?
We are not, I assure you.
Prove it then, Benelli. If it's truly yourself, tell me the name of the ship we served on before the Derwent.
It's the Corona.
How could I forget the Corona?
Aye, an unforgettable ship she was. Ah, Michael. I don't know how it'd be possible, but it's good you're back. Payo!
Aye, Captain.
Remind me of the course correction you made this morning.
We had to go to around Hastrum Scary.
Going around Hastrum Scary.
That's right.
It feels like this
now.
could be a cutscene
Fine
because I
work,
already
Payo.
found the
That'll
information.
surely save us some time. Fisher, have you your harpoon at the ready?
Aye, sir.
And your aim will be true?
I've tied my wife's kerchief to the handle. I've abstained from drinking. So funny.
Yes, I have my wife's lucky kerchief tied to the handle.
Ah, good. Then our hunt is sure to succeed. O'Malley?
Sir?
I believe I know that delicious scent. But remind me what it is you're making.
I'm cooking the famous horse sea biscuits. It's your favorite seafaring meal.
Why, your favorite, of course. Sea biscuits.
As I suspected, I can hardly wait for a taste.
Captain, I recommend you take it easy.
Why is that, Dr. Francois?
The heart condition.
I don't want you to put any stress on your heart. Have you been taking your nitroglycerin tablets?
Got him.
I think I have. I can't believe what I'm seeing and hearing, but y'all are really here. But how can this be? I saw y'all dragged under. I can't make sense of this.
Perhaps you still can. Tell us what you remember.
20 years. The Derwent left El Presidio on the hunt for whales. We'd been out for months, with almost naught to show for it. A wretched haul, wretched pay. Benelli came to me, saying the crew was getting agitated, yearning for home.
Like you do.
Forgive me, Benelli. I ought to have listened to you. After the third time you tried to speak sense, I tossed you in the brig for insubordination.
That's not
more,
great.
I said. We'll not turn for home before we bring in one more whale. Payo and Fisher at least were keen. I saw the signs, but didn't want to believe them. Didn't want to turn back. But there was a devil of a storm brewing, and he brought us down. Poor Benelli, locked in the brig, to drown.
This is where you pause the game and play the entirety of the Return of the Overdin.
Ship turned over. Brave Fisher. You saved me life when it ought to have been me what went down with the Derwent. Ah, lads, That night's been eating away at me for 20 years. How I wish I could go back. How I wish I could make things right.
Just step into the quantum leap accelerator. Oh my god, you can say you should feel guilty. You were a terrible captain. What was the point of this exercise if that's what we were going to do? It's just like an unhinged thing to do. It's like, yeah, we could have just like left you to your own devices, but we wanted you to feel haunted for the entire rest of your existence on this mortal coil. No, he's a nice man. I'm not gonna tell him to feel guilty. Like, he made a mistake because he was under a lot of stress and whatever. Like, yeah, everyone died, but, you know. I feel like the only purpose for doing this is to say we forgive you. I mean, we have a save file as close to this as we can manage. The only problem is that we have to replay like 5 minutes to get here. Okay, fine. I'll pick 3, but then we'll go through this again. You like 2? I mean, I think 2 is very sensible, but I feel like the purpose of this exercise is to say 1. I don't know. Not 3. I mean, no, like, we're saying, like, 3... Exactly, it was a maritime oopsie. Who among us hasn't experienced a maritime oopsie? I mean, under the narratively interesting ruling, we'll see what 3 does, but 3 is obviously not the correct thing to do.
You're right to feel guilty. You should have gone down with the ship.
What are you doing?
Telling the truth. Your crew is dead because you refused to listen. You let your greed take over. What sort of captain does that make you?
A terrible one, I know it.
No, it's not true. Bad things happen. Most of them we can't control. You made a mistake, and it cost the lives of your friends. That doesn't make you a bad person. You were given a second chance. The important thing is to use it.
But how?
You already are. Not everyone would take in 5 strangers seeking shelter without question.
It won't ever stop hurting. But you can take the pain and turn it into something good.
I suppose you're right. I swear I'll do right by all of ye. Thank ye. You've given me a moment of peace. I hope to God you've found it as well. Oh, I'm weary.
Think it worked?
I hope so. Come, we should get some sleep. And let's refrain from mentioning this to the captain in the morning.
Appreciate your hospitality, Captain.
You got an achievement for that. I don't think it makes a material difference what you say to him.
Very much so. And yourself?
Best sleep I've had in years.
I'm glad to hear it.
Ye said you were headed to El Presidio?
That's right.
Then I wonder if I might trouble ye for a small favor. I've a letter needs delivering. Could I entrust it to you?
I didn't realize we were the Pony
My
Express.
thanks. I'd also like to leave ye with a couple of mementos for being so quick to volunteer and help out. Mr. Luo and Miss Redbird, please, take this bottle of Barbadian rum. Perhaps ye might split it between ye. Makes dull work go faster.
Oh, thanks. That's very
Give
kind.
it to like the
And
2
for you,
people least
Mrs.
likely to drink.
This tea caddy. I carved the inlay myself.
It's beautiful.
That's cool.
Best of luck on your journey. And if ye ever pass this way again, feel free to knock on me door.
Thanks, Captain, we will.
So Jake and Miss Johnson are the only ones who like didn't get anything out
Our
of that?
stay at Captain Boylan's farmhouse was anything but dull. I can't say for sure whether we truly helped him for good and all, but he seemed himself again when he saw us off this morning. I do believe he was truly lonely in his self-imposed exile and grateful for even the brief company we offered. After traveling half the
I'm gonna
day,
be honest
we
with
stopped
you.
for a brief
This
rest.
annoys
And
me.
Nadine has asked me to accompany her
explain
on
in a
an
minute.
excursion into the desert. For what purpose, I shall soon learn.
Thank you for accompanying me, Harley.
Not a problem.
Oh my
What are we
cripes.
doing exactly?
Let me have
Gathering
control of the
firewood.
game.
There's probably plenty of petrified wood, but we should be able to find some useful scrub.
Oh my God, please. this is starting to make me a little insane, is like there's these choices and it's like fun to try and replay them, but like, do you have any idea how much game I have to replay to like try another choice in that conversation tree because it dips into a cutscene followed by a cutscene followed by a cutscene followed by another choice? Like, I guess here's the thing. The more I play of this game, it's not really an adventure game. It's a little closer to like a David Cage game that's broken up by adventure game puzzles, if that makes sense to you. It's like Heavy Rain, but like it's not just continuous like interact and see what happens. That's why we're against option 3. But like you can't have it both ways of we should do the most interesting thing and then we should never do the most interesting thing. Like, though this does feel like it's written by a human. I don't understand what you mean by that, Demolition. You're contrasting it to a literal work of art. Can you skip the cutscenes? Technically, yes. When I've tried to do it before, the game gets so mad. Like, extremely mad. Like, it chugs and churns and groans and hates. It does not like it when you skip cutscenes, from my experience. Last time you saved just before the choice. Okay, alright. Neko, would you like to look at your crystal ball and tell me how many cutscenes happen after the next line of dialogue? Don't act like you have perfect foresight. Come on now.
How come you asked me to come with you anyway?
You would have preferred I ask someone else?
No, just curious.
I thought it would be nice to spend some time together. Get a moment to breathe. Big groups aren't my favorite.
Yes, I can see your point.
Over here looks promising.
I mean, we could try to skip some cutscenes on the way back here, but like the game got so mad when I tried to do it at the start. All right, hold on. Darkest basement. Talk to Nadine. Just double check that the note has everything, that I saved at the correct time. Okay,
Is everything
it's fine.
keeping?
I think.
Yep.
Captain.
So, I think you can only skip fully pre-rendered cutscenes, incidentally. You can skip dialogue, which helps,
Yes,
but it only helps if
How?
you don't mind missing something, obviously.
We're going. Fisher, hi, and you. Oh man. What?
Captain.
What?
I don't want.
I can't.
Perhaps.
We Benelli, forgive. After one Coyote, I saw that there was a devil. Poor Benelli, and the rest of you.
I'll try Neko's choice here, mainly just because after watching the bad version, it seems like everyone else is on board with trying to teach an actual moral lesson instead of just trying to help him move on, which it like really felt like was the tone that the game suggested.
But you can't. The past is the past, and what's done is done. The best you can do is learn to accept and live with it.
But how? You 5 brave men died because of me.
Yet you were given a second chance. Use it to do good with your life. Like sheltering strangers from a dust storm, for instance.
It won't ever stop hurting. But you can take
It's interesting that you take
turn it into something
Nadine's dialogue if you say that.
I suppose you're right. I swear
You know
I'll
what?
do right
I think
by
I
all.
understand the mechanism of
Thank you.
this.
I hope to.
I think the point is like
Think it worked?
Nadine will
So,
bail you out
no.
if you make the
We should
wrong
get some
choice
sleep.
there, but only if you have enough leeway by making it a really convincing deception. I think that's the idea.
Appreciate your hospitality.
Think nothing of it.
Very much so. And yourself?
Best.
I'm glad to.
You said you were. That's right. Then I've a.
Of course.
My thank for being
My inventory's
so quick.
full of such
Perhaps you
like
might
random
slip.
nonsense.
And for you, Miss. I carved the inlay.
It's beautiful.
Best of luck on your journey.
He calls it
If
a
you
tea
ever
caddy.
pop
Is that not a box? It feels like that's a box.
Our stay at Captain Boylan's farmhouse was anything but dull. I can't say for sure whether we truly helped him for good and all, but he seemed himself again when he saw us off this morning. I do believe he was truly lonely in his self-imposed exile and grateful for even the brief company we offered. After traveling half the day, we've stopped for a
Is
brief
that a
rest.
flask on the ground? Or is that
Nadine
supposed to be a
has asked me
stone, do you
accompany
think?
her on an excursion into the desert. For what purpose, I shall soon learn.
So the box could be a cozy for just like some tea inside the box?
Not a problem.
Can't say I'm a
What are we
tea
doing
expert.
exactly?
Not
Gathering
how I would
firewood.
describe it.
There's probably plenty of petrified wood, but we should be able to find some useful scrub.
A scrub is a guy that can't get no love from me, girl.
How come
You would.
No.
I thought big groups.
Yes, I can see your point.
Over here looks promising.
No capitalization on the save name small groups.
Someone dropped their flask here.
Oh, it is a flask. It's mine now.
Whew, that is some strong-smelling stuff.
Do you think it's Cold Tits Miracle Elixir? I wonder if that's like a secret item.
There, over by that flintstone. That branch is perfect. I'll let you do the honors.
What's happening here?
Nadine said this was flint.
Do I need to know that for later?
There's still a little bit of liquid in here.
Is it a steel flask? Or am I gonna pick it up?
Surprisingly light. Suppose there's more around here?
Undoubtedly. It probably came from that tree over there.
What is...
Let's
I have like
split
a
up.
really bad
I'll
feeling
check
about
beyond
this
the tree.
place.
You search the area to the south. Once you've gathered enough, we can meet back here and sort it.
Okay. Good luck, I guess.
And to you.
Why do we care about flint?
This branch still has some leaves on it.
There's something weird on that cactus.
Looks like a good piece of wood. A piece of torn cloth. Looks like it came from a shirt or a jacket.
Just gonna take it, I guess.
This branch isn't going anywhere without coaxing. This will do nicely.
Okay, I guess we'll go this way. There's like a satchel here.
Somebody lost. Damn it!
Well, that's rude.
Fast little son of a gun.
You have like the slowest reaction time in the West. It's actually quite a marvel. I'm gonna search the satchel.
Not much in here except a rusty knife. But a rusty knife is better than no knife at all.
Amen, sister. Truer words never spoken. Guys, I don't know how to deal with coyotes. It hasn't actually come up that often, even though I used to live in California. I don't think I should scare it. I don't think I should talk to it. Do I approach slowly? Paint a road on a wall. You are probably right about that. But all I have is like a rusty knife and some loose wood. Can we adopt it? Honestly, in this game I have no idea. Maybe. It's a resounding maybe. I mean, I definitely don't feel like I should scare it. I feel like all outcomes from trying to scare it are probably bad.
Nadine? Can you hear me? Could use some help. Damn it! Where did that varmint get to?
I kind of like. I don't know if that was specifically the intention, but I had kind of a similar thought, Cotillion. Like, I get like the thing is, I thought since I don't feel like any of those was like an obvious solution for dealing with the coyote, that I, the player, have a reasonable expectation to know. I thought we were trying to do like, you know, rely on character skill thing, like having the other characters like do rope tricks and knife tricks and stuff. I don't know if it was specifically meant to be the native woman doing it, but like I thought maybe because she lived in the wilderness she would have more animal experience. Do we need a stick? Yeah, it's implied. Can I use...
I'd rather not cut that.
I thought I was trying to cut the leaves off of it. Can I...
Come on. Got it.
I don't think I can do any... Oh, I can look at rocks? Am I supposed to have thrown a rock at the coyote? That feels not great. I think I have like a limited amount of like item interactions. I don't know what I'm doing.
Sparks. Good to know I can...
I don't know why there's like flint or why I would start a fire, but I do know that I can do it. Oh.
Well, look who it is.
Here's the thought. This isn't great firewood. Do you want this stick? Do you want to fetch?
Hey, look. I've got a stick of my own. Want to trade? Guess not. Smug little bastard. Gotta figure out how to get him to drop that stick.
I really don't think it's throw a rock at him. It's probably not use knife. Do you think I can, like, lockpick his jaw open? Is that something?
Damn it. Maybe he'll come back if I...
It's interesting that Nadine did not respond to my call. I'm gonna pick up some loose garbage. Oh, I don't care about the satchel anymore.
Somebody
That's
lost...
interesting. I'm gonna pick up some rocks, I guess. Not a lot going on out here, other than Coyote. So I'm supposed to keep my distance.
A plain old desert rock.
Chat, I desperately need your help. Because I don't want to throw a rock at this thing, but I can't think of any other meaningful way to interact with this other than throw rock or knife at dog. And I don't really want to do either of those. I did try to trade sticks. I had that thought. I don't think it's the fabric. I assume whatever it is, it's something from the flask forward, because those are things we found like here. Wait a minute. I have a really stupid idea. Can I...
I'll just wrap this. There.
Guys, I'm gonna scare it with fire.
Hot damn.
You know what? That's the most appropriate hot damn to date. Scare it. Scare it with fire.
Go on, get out of here.
The thing is, there's no guarantee it would drop the stick because I did that, even if I spooked it off.
Nadine's never going to believe what I went through to get this.
She's gonna come back with like a huge quantity of wood and be like, didn't need
now
that.
to find Nadine.
I got an outsmarted the Coyote achievement.
It sounds like you went to some lengths to gather that wood.
You
Sure
can say
did.
that again. Nothing's ever easy, is it?
Nothing worthwhile, in my experience. You said a coyote ran off with one of the branches?
Yeah, sneaky little thing. I improvised a torch and scared it off with fire.
Clever. You outsmarted the trickster. You know, Vespuccian natives tell many stories about Coyote the trickster. He's never quite either good or bad, but he's always getting into scrapes and causing trouble. Would you like to hear one?
Yes.
Please, I'd like that.
Okay, but first...
What are
That's
you
the
doing?
same stick I already picked up. You're cheating. I don't know
Now
what we're
then.
doing. Oh, she's gonna whittle that very thin stick into, I don't know, a coyote figure?
Coyote went to visit Kingfisher because he was out of food. Brother, what have you got to eat? I'm very hungry. Kingfisher didn't like this rude way of talking, but he flew to the top of his lodge, then flew to the river and down through a hole in the ice. He came back up with many fish. The two ate until their bellies were full, and Coyote went home. The next day, Coyote climbed up onto the roof of his lodge. "What are you doing up there?" asked his wife. "Why, you know I've done this before. I'm getting food for our supper." Coyote jumped off the roof, down to the river, but he missed the hole and broke his neck and was killed.
Cool story, bro. Is the torch still on fire in your
Kingfisher,
pocket?
who'd
I
been
assume so,
nearby,
yeah.
Walked over to where Coyote was. He jumped into the river and emerged with many fish. Then he jumped over Coyote 4 times, and Coyote came
Oh,
back
of
to life.
course. Why didn't I think of
This
that?
is my way, not your way, said Kingfisher. I do not imitate others like you do. He handed Coyote the fish before leaving.
The end.
Coyote went back to his wife and showed her the fish. Look at these big fish. I caught them the way Kingfisher does. Kingfisher is afraid of my power.
All right,
He told
guy.
me not
Cool
to
your,
do this
cool your
again.
jets.
He knows my medicine is strong. Coyote's wife cooked the fish.
I like that I could choose I don't understand. I mean, I think I largely get the point of that, but I think that is kind of an unhinged story, to be entirely honest with you. Especially because the wolf, the coyote kills itself 2/3 of the way through, and the solution to ending the story after that is to have the bird jump over it 4 times. It sounds like something out of Axe Cop. I like Nadine. I just kind of want to be on her good side. It's a good story.
That's a hell of a tale.
I always found it rather compelling.
What is the origin of that story? Let's not presume.
So where did you hear the story?
Actually, I read it in a book. Myths and Legends of the Native Vespuccians. Dr. Sedgwick bought it from a traveling bookseller. I think he was of 2 minds about giving it to me. On the one
That's
hand,
fair.
I know he considered it frivolous heathen claptrap. On the other hand, he thought it might be meaningful to me, having something connected to my origins. He was right. I cherished that book. Devoured it.
I
It was
literally
written
ate
by
the
a
book.
white
I
man
didn't
who was
understand
supposed
how to
have
read.
Traveled all around the country collecting native folk tales. Sometimes I wonder if he ever left the publishing office in Bright Bay. Maybe he just made them all up. I preferred to believe that there was something authentic about them, though.
I think stories are universal is like a weird kind of extremely general thing to say. I definitely don't want to say made it all up. I think that'd make her sad, even if she still didn't believe that or whatever. She was scared of breaking her neck catching actual food. The book was all she had. You know what? That's a great point, Neko. It is. So yeah, great
I
entry.
imagine the writer did a fair bit of massaging to make the stories palatable to the book-buying public. Editors are finicky about what they'll publish. And who even knows if the people he got the stories from...
Alright, that's
were
way
still
more
into what he
cynical than
wanted
that read to me, but
But
okay.
somewhere in there is the seed of the original stories and the truths they have to tell. If putting them in a book helped them reach more people, like you, then that's a good thing, right?
Yes, I suppose so.
Anyhow, I liked the way you told it. It's your story now.
That's very kind of you to say. Thank you. Here, for you.
She did. She carved me a little coyote.
This is really well done. Thank you.
Shall we head
We'll
back
cherish it
now?
always, Nadine.
Sure. Let's go.
I hope that's in my inventory. I am shocked by how much of this game this single journey seems to take. Because it's called Rosewater, and I thought it'd be set in Rosewater.
Phil's
Now he's got the
music has
guitar.
livened up the journey some.
I want to talk to Danny.
Hey, Danny, let's talk.
Sure.
Captain Boylan sure was facing some demons. Hope he'll be all right.
I think so. At least, he seemed happier.
I haven't talked to Jake in a minute.
Hey, Jake?
Yeah, Harley?
How about another story?
Sure. Here's one about the time I lassoed a rabid coyote.
What a coincidence. It's implied I heard a story about lassoing a
That's
coyote.
how I ended up with this scar.
Hey, Leger, I need a word.
Yes?
There's a stopped wagon up ahead. Traders from the look of it. I'll pull over. Go see if they've got anything worthwhile for sale.
Will do.
I only have $26 US because I got robbed earlier. Hello?
Excuse me, ma'am?
Oh, hello there. Where did you come from?
Behind
Wagon
you.
just on the road there. I was coming to see if...
Hold up there, stranger.
Pa, what are you doing?
State your business. We do not want trouble.
Wait, we got robbed? Yeah, I tried to do something narratively interesting and was too lazy to go back and save scum it. So we lost $39. But then we got $26 by doing archaeology good. You really got to catch the whole stream, is my incentive for not explaining this better. I mean, anyhow.
Easy there. Trouble's the last thing I'm looking for.
Then what are you looking for?
I've been sent to inquire if you were traders. Thought we might do business.
Ah, well, there you are then. You can put the gun down, Pa. She's clearly not a highway woman.
No? You know how sneaky they are, Ma. And this road is infested with them.
You've had some trouble with bandits, then?
Not personally, thanks be to God. But we know the terrible tales.
And we take such warnings seriously. Very seriously.
Pa, please. If she did have any wicked intent, I'm sure she's given it up now that she sees how well protected we are. Please put the gun away, and let's talk like civilized Christian folk.
Very well.
Mildly
I
interesting
see.
that we still have Christianity in this alternate timeline.
She'll regret it sorely, I'm sure. There now. Well, you asked if we were traders, and indeed we are. We're bound for Rosewater to sell our stock.
No, we just came
were
from there.
about to make camp for the evening, but we'd be glad to show you what we have, provided you can pay or trade.
I could probably do that.
Rosewater, you say? We've just come from there ourselves.
Is that right? We've made the trek many times. It is never dull.
It's been eventful for us as
I
well.
like the really chill oxen.
I'd enjoy hearing about your journey. How about your folk camp with us tonight?
Oh,
Make an
sick.
evening of
She
it.
suggested. I didn't have
Chance
to.
trade stories as well as wares.
Now, Ma, is that a good idea? Ria has been fussy all day.
Is Rhea an ox?
Fine. She loves meeting new people.
I think Rhea's an ox.
We do not have extra food, so we cannot feed you.
That's all right. We have some. We can pool what we've got.
Very good. A potluck.
Great. I'll let my companions know to prepare for company. By the way, my name's Harley Leger.
Pleasure to make your acquaintance. We are the Fortine family. I'm Sarah Little Owl, and my husband is Carl. We've also got 3 children in the wagon.
Oh.
Bram and baby Rhea.
I told you
meet
Rhea
them
was an
later
ox.
this evening.
I look forward to it.
He says in defiance of facts. No one mentioned a dog. There's a dog here.
I'm so glad we did this. Seems
It's implied we had a
Gagan's
nice
taken
evening.
shine to Miss Johnson.
She's a fine dog.
Gosh, none of these busted
With a little
cutscenes.
training, she'd be a fine trail companion.
Oh, I don't think we'll bother with all that.
Fair enough. If you'll excuse me, I'm going to the other fire.
Take
The
Gagey
CPU's
along
not
if
mad.
you
I'm
want.
not dropping
All
frames. I
right.
don't know what's going on.
Come on, girl.
Looks like I'm playing an old King's Quest game with the speed dialed down. Oh, I have control.
Hey, Mrs. Fortine?
Yes, Miss Leger.
Where'd you get the
Have
dog?
you had your dog long?
Only a few days. We adopted Gagey from a traveling carnival we passed some miles back. Pa wasn't too enthusiastic about it. But I thought it would do the children good to have a companion. Although I have noticed that Bram starts to sneeze something awful when she's around. I hope he gets over it.
Yeah, that sort of thing works out really well.
Are you from Western Vespuccia originally?
No, I'm Cheyenne. We come from the southern part of the province you call Rotterdam. Your friend, Miss Redbird. Who are her people?
She doesn't know herself. We met her at an Otham village, where she was staying as a guest.
I see. Well, send her my way when she has a moment. I'd love a chat.
Oh, okay.
You folks been to Rosewater often?
Several times, yes. We usually spend the winter there. Ever since they extended the rail line, we can go there and sell to traders who ship our pelts back east. Actually, Rhea was born in Rosewater.
You don't say. How did you come up with the name Gaggy?
Oh, that was Rhea's doing.
You're
Gagey
unable to
is her
spell
way of
Greg.
saying Doggy. We all thought it was adorable, and the name stuck.
So, what's the trapper's life like?
It can be rough, but I like the freedom. We can go where we want, when we want, without any boss telling us otherwise.
It's not too dangerous for a young family?
The children are born to it. They can hunt and trap with their eyes closed. Besides, we don't go after anything dangerous. Mainly deer, elk, and beavers.
You ever meet the Shambler?
Your children seem very capable. How old are they?
Beth is 14, Bram is 9, and Rhea is 18 months.
I'm curious to know how you and your husband met.
We both worked for the Gold River Trading Company. I'd already been at the lodge for a few years with my brothers when he first came through. We courted for a while, and eventually decided to elope.
Love at first sight, huh?
It took a while to get to know him, but I could see he was different from the other trappers. Brutes and wild men, but not Carl. After we were married, we both left the company and came west to work independently.
That was a good meal.
So Alan points out in chat, if that was a good meal, we should belch loudly like the Romans did. I guess I should send Nadine over? I'm not entirely sure what we're doing here. Oh my god. These campfire scenes are insufferable. I don't know why the game is so broken.
No! Bad dog! Bram! Take this mutt back to the wagon. She has caused enough trouble for one night.
Generic Boyd takes dog off screen. Very slowly.
She's just a pup. You can't expect her to be a perfect angel without being trained to it.
Trained? I would like to know how we will find the time for that. Honestly, I do not know what Sarah was thinking taking her in.
Here, Mr. Fortime, have some rum. I think it will do you some good.
I probably shouldn't, but why not?
Do we control again? No, we just watch him drink?
How about that song you were gonna play us, Phil?
Ah, yes. This is a tune I have always enjoyed.
Cute Dragon Force. Oh, I do have control now. Hey, Nadine. I'm not sure if Nadine talking to Ma will help her learn anything about her people,
Hi,
but
Nadine.
it'd be nice if it
Who's
did.
This is the Fortine's eldest daughter, Beth, and their youngest, Rhea.
Good to meet you, Beth. I'm Harley.
How do you do?
Mutual, I'm sure.
So, what have you two been chatting about?
Beth was just recounting her family's journey from the mountains.
Hasn't been too eventful. Most interesting thing we've seen is a traveling carnival. Of course,
Seems
we
eventful.
didn't get to see much of it on account of Pa.
He kept
saying
holding
there
a
were
gun on
bunch of
people.
hucksters and thieves looking to steal our money.
Probably.
Sweet baby. Quiet.
Yes, Rhea's
What did you call
very
me?
good-tempered. Not like Bram at that age. Whew, he was a little terror.
That dog of yours is real cute.
Oh, do you think so? I'm not fond of dogs, but Ma got him mostly to keep Bram entertained, I think. I worry when she gets too excited around the baby, though.
Bram seems like a real bummer for the family.
Mrs. Fortine told me to send you her way, Nadine. I think she wants to talk to you.
Oh, all right. Thanks for letting me know.
I'll just leave you both to it.
Excuse me, but it's getting late. I should put Rhea to bed.
Very well. It was nice talking to you, Beth.
And you. Good night.
Oh, we're doing this again. Where you like talk to people and then people randomly very slowly go to bed. I genuinely don't understand what this like World's End Club nonsense is. I don't know why this is part of this. Rhea is 18 months and can hunt with her eyes closed. Yeah, we don't have time to train the dog, but like it's like Project Christmas up in here for real deep cut reference that at least one person might get. I don't know. Still better than World's End Club. Certainly the experience is. I just like I don't know why these scenes are meant to be super useful or entertaining, and the game is not running good while they're happening.
Mr. Fortine?
Yes?
Just wanted to tell you. Your family's lovely.
Oh,
I'm going to take
that is
them.
very kind of you, Miss Leger. I am blessed to have such a loving wife and children. Quite fortunate.
I believe you mean Fortinet.
How do you mean?
Most folk mispronounce my surname as Fortune if they see it written down. There's supposed to be power in names, right? Maybe even wrong ones.
Mrs. Fortine mentioned you were headed to Rosewater?
That's right. It's where we do most of our business. Be nice to see old Sheriff Gamble again. He's good people.
How did you come to meet Mrs. Fortine?
Oh, well, I was working at the Gold River Trading Company, and she came in to work at the lodge with her brothers. The other trappers treated her and her kin like the dirt they walked on. But eventually, I convinced her
I like to imagine that he just randomly pointed a gun at all of them. That's how he solves all his
after
problems.
we began courting. The fools I worked with did not look too favorably upon me marrying a native girl. So I said to hell with them. We left town and moved out here to make it on our own. Been doing fine ever since.
I'd like to know more about your children.
Tell me their
Those
secrets.
apples did not fall too far from the tree, thank the Lord. Bram's a great shot, and Beth's as good a trapper as me. Maybe better. I just hope that does not cause trouble when the time comes to find her a husband.
Rhea is a terror, and the beasts of this world flee from her presence.
Pardon my frankness, but I get the impression you don't much care for your dog.
I feel like he's pretty open about that, to be honest.
I don't care for her. I do not believe we can care for her.
Oh, you see what he did there? He turned that phrase right around.
One more won't help. Ma didn't even consult me before taking her. Says she got her for the children, but they should worry about taking care of each other, not some poor animal.
What's the trapper's life like?
It can be a lonely life. Lots of trappers.
I got an achievement for, I think, doing every
Hardly
possible
ever
dialogue
see
option with the
another
family.
soul. I think it drives them a little crazy. Like they forget how to be human. That is why I thank God every day for my family. They saved me from that.
There seem to be like a ton of achievements in this game. Either that or we're like almost done it. I don't know, I can't tell. I gotta talk to Miss Johnson because she always just leaves every conversation immediately.
Hey, Miss Johnson?
What do you need?
I noticed you and the dog were getting on well.
She's sweet. This family don't appreciate what they've got. Been thinking
I'm going to
about
take their
getting
dog.
a dog myself. Ain't found the time.
Phil's not bad, is he?
I've certainly heard worse. Think I'll be retiring soon.
Yeah, I knew she was gonna
Early
go to
start
bed.
tomorrow.
Not very friendly, are you? You made it to 69% completion in Binding of Isaac. Nice! Only about 200 achievements to go. Have you at any point reevaluated having inflicted this upon yourself? I know at some point you were upset that they, like, were adding more achievements to the game. I will invite her to stay with us, but I imagine this will upset
You're
her.
always the first one down. Be nice to have you stick around a while longer.
Think so, huh?
Sure. This is our chance to wind down. Enjoy each other's company some.
All right. Maybe just this once.
Nice.
She's not much of...
Sorry, think we could talk later?
Thought we were gonna
I wanna
trade
hear
stuff.
Phil
Yeah, so
play.
did I, Justin. Isn't that funny?
Sorry,
What was it?
think we could talk later?
I want to hear Phil play. Okay.
Not now.
Well, I can interrupt the music, or maybe I can try to go trade? Thinking of Vampire Survivors. Really? I really specifically thought it was Binding of Isaac. Oh, and Nadine is gone.
Having a good evening?
I am, Miss Leger. I'm so glad we did this.
I much prefer our means of...
Yeah, guys, chat, I really don't know that we're going to do any trading, even though it was, like, explicitly the whole thing we were doing. Is the game frozen? No, it's just... it just really doesn't like these night scenes. Oh, maybe we can talk to Nadine now that she came back.
It's so nice to have music, isn't it?
Let's piss everyone else
He's
off.
in the middle of playing.
Okay, guys, I don't know what I'm
I had
doing.
my doubts about that contraption, but it's really come through so far.
Like, it doesn't seem like I can do anything.
The tent I'm sharing with Nadine. It's more spacious than it looks. Jake and Danny's tent.
Where's Phil staying?
Mr. Forte?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
If Yegi's a burden to you, we could take her off your hands.
You would do that?
Sure.
No, I couldn't. Ma would raise Cain, and the children would hate me if I gave away their dog.
Your daughter told me she's not fond of dogs.
That's right. I wish she had told me, or her mother for that matter. Tell you what, I'll go discuss it with Ma. We will let you know what we decide.
Well, they did manage to acquire that dog, but we may give it to our surly stagecoach driver. I'm really not sure. I thought we were I'm with Just on this. I thought we were trading.
Yeah. Come over.
Okay. We'll need Coyote's help to pretend the dog was eaten.
Ma and I have discussed your proposal.
It pains me to admit it, but I may have been somewhat hasty in adopting that pup.
So we will
You're certain you
marry
can provide
you.
her a good home?
I think so, yes.
Then it is settled. We'll let you have her for 2 crowns.
Alright, fine. Honestly, even though I don't particularly care for Miss Johnson, it just seems like a nice thing to do to buy her this dog since she already likes it and wanted it.
Here you are.
Thanks very much. Brom, bring the dog out here.
Really awkward to have him do it when he's the only one who likes the dog. I guess the mom likes the dog too, right? Or did she say she didn't?
Say goodbye to Geggy Bram. She'll be going with these people now, and you won't be sneezing anymore.
No, that's true. He's allergic. That is true.
Miss Leger. You've got yourself a dog.
Why would they charge us if we're kind of doing them a favor? Because this alternate history leads to Siberia 3, where everyone is miserable and useless.
Play over there now.
We should
okay, please walk
call
off
it a
screen.
night, don't you think, Pa?
Yes, we have a long ride ahead of us.
It was
I wonder if the
lovely
dog is
meeting you
important
and
for
your
solving a
friends,
puzzle
Miss
later.
Leger.
Likewise. Best of luck on your travels.
And to you as well. Good night.
What I'm saying is that these people are yokels. Yokels? God, I can't even remember how to pronounce it now. Oh my god, does this night ever end?
Gracias. Let us keep the evening going, shall we?
You two make a fine pair.
I'm glad you managed to convince those folks to give her up. They seem nice enough, but I don't think they were right for her. For one thing, what kind of a name is Geggy?
I take it you're calling her something else?
Yep, her name's Lisa Lou now.
That's not much better than Geggy. Chat, suggest another name? What do you think? Night Keith, thanks for stopping by.
Could I perhaps suggest another name?
No, but I appreciate you asking first.
Well, there you go. Lisa Lou it is. And then the dog kills us. Is this like King's Quest up in here?
Who's a good pup?
Guys, there wasn't any achievement for that. I genuinely feel like that probably should have been an achievement.
Hey Nadine, how's it going?
That was very kind of you. Adopting the dog? Miss Johnson certainly seems to have taken a shine. I don't think I've seen her smile before this evening. She almost looks like a different person.
What'd you think of our dinner guests?
Mr. Fortine seems a hard-working man. Nothing but respect for that. Of course, that ain't the only thing I respect him for. If I could catch a woman like he did, hoo-wee, I'd die a happy man. Mrs. Fortine's a lovely lady. A damn fine, beautiful, lovely
Usually the
lady.
achievement comes from petting the
Them
dog
two make
10
a
times.
Real nice couple. And the kids
How many games
seem
have
like
that?
eggs. Hell, even old rambling Jake could think of settling down and starting a family with a gal like that.
I thought it was Gentleman Jake.
Well, now, not always. Real
Quite a few.
glad
No,
we
like
met.
literally how many
Real
games?
glad.
Even Lorelai had it? Did I? I feel like I
Who's a
pet that
good
dog a
pup?
lot in Lorelai. Did I get that one? I don't remember. Now the problem is it does take 4 hours to pet the dog one time. So many games specifically have a pet animal 10
Who's a
times that
good
none
pup?
come to mind when thinking about it. Is there a name for that phenomenon? Like, that's definitely a thing. Of, like, you've seen it so many times that you can't think of any examples. It just becomes a thing that you expect to, like, exist.
Who's a good pup?
I did not get it. That's genuinely surprised. I feel like I pet that dog quite a lot. I definitely would guess that I pet that dog in excess of 10 times.
Atta girl.
Well, that's interesting. Oh, hang on. Pet Lisa Lou 5 times. Achievement unlocked.
Got any more songs for us, Phil?
In fact, I do. I always found this one rather beautiful.
Well, now we're doing this. I don't have control anymore.
Dime que me haré, dime
Oh,
que me
he's
haré.
actually singing.
Sin tu amor, flor silvestre. Si los días no me pertenecen.
I think that's a medication.
Crucé tu jardín.
I think he's actually just like singing a pharmaceutical commercial.
Aroma mi alma carece.
That for some reason involves the Macarena.
Cuando volveré, cuando
How do you say
volveré,
consult a physician in like New España?
si estando libre tú eres feliz, cuando nadie tu paso detiene, la distancia no se compadece.
It'd be funny if we all like fell asleep and then he like disappeared from the game but stole all our money.
Y vivo la ilusión de que un día
Face close up could use some work. There's definitely a vibe of like the uncomfortable quality that like Excavation of Hobbs Barrow's characters had. You remember those close-ups? They were always like kind of grotesque. Like it's been kind of consistent throughout this game. I know not all of you have been here like throughout. I definitely feel like we've given this dog a better life for $2 cheat US.
Pierdo el deseo de vivir.
goodness, that was certainly...
Are you crying?
Of course not. Just got a cinder in my eye.
I thought it was nice. Thank you for playing a song for us, Phil.
That was a beautiful song, Phil. Thanks for sharing.
My pleasure.
Campfire is
feeling
always
my
nicer with
queasy, so
music.
if you folks
Another
don't
achievement
mind.
unlocked. It's a really achievement-heavy camp session.
Hey, Danny. How's your evening been?
I really enjoyed meeting the Fortines. It's nice to see a family that's so close. All that time on the road and in the mountains, with only each other to rely on. It can't be easy, but they clearly make it work. I think maybe I'll ride my parents next chance I get.
Time for me to call it a night.
Good night, Harley.
Buenas noches.
Sleep well.
Night, Leger.
Hades has an achievement for petting Cerberus 10 times. God, I keep forgetting that game exists. I still haven't played it.
Phil?
Harley?
How are you liking the guitar?
It is a fine instrument. I have not had the opportunity to play in some time.
Meeting those trappers was fortunate.
Are you attempting to make a pun?
A little.
No. I would never. Puns are the lowest form of
Oh my goodness, my Coyote figurines on the shelf.
The highest.
My sister once got me like a natively made like hippo carving when she like made one of her trips to Africa. It's really nice. It's at my parents' house because like they had like a matching set of bowls and we sort of have them on display on a shelf someplace. Also puns. Also puns is kind of a funny answer. Don't really do humor. I feel like it's too much of a bummer even for our like kind of serious character. You've been working on learning wood carving, Neko? You carved a snake cane last year? Like you had like a whole cane and like carved a snake like grip onto it? Or did you have to like carve the cane down from like a larger piece? I don't know, I feel like Harley Leger likes irony most.
I can always go in for some good old-fashioned gut-twisting irony myself.
It's a weird way of putting it though.
I see. Very literary of you. Anyway, yes, I am glad we encountered them. They were quite entertaining, especially the father. Seeing him loosen up after a few swigs of rum was quite satisfying.
We'll talk more later.
I look forward to it.
I'm not interested in talking to you anymore.
Nadine carved this for me after telling me that story about the coyote.
I like it. I want to talk to
Nadine.
Nadine because I want to know if she learned anything interesting.
Did you get a chance to speak with Mrs. Fortine?
I did, for a short while.
What did she have to say?
Oh, she was just curious about my background. Told me about hers, that sort of thing. It was a nice conversation.
That's nice.
I have to say, I've learned quite a bit about coyotes lately.
They are fascinating creatures, aren't they? I'm sure you can understand why there are so many stories and legends about them.
I mean, they can be brought back to life just by jumping over them like 4 times.
The Fortine family was nice, weren't they?
It was incredible to see such a strong family bond. They depend on each other completely for their livelihood and survival.
The wagon is slowing down again.
See
It happens
anything out
every
there,
time you
Danny?
talk to exactly 2 of us.
This is a small building.
Let's go take a look.
Oh, thank God you're here. I was starting to think no one would ever turn up.
What's the matter?
The post office has been overrun.
Let me guess. Rats?
Rats. Rats would be welcome friends compared to the evil in there.
Evil? What evil?
The
Ants?
deceiver. The father of lies.
You think he's being literal? You made the cane yourself using a branch of white hazel. Straightened it yourself, treated it, fitted it with ferrule, carved the best snake handle, and drilled into the branch to make a joint between them. Breathed a lot of wood dust through the whole ordeal. Yeah, it sounds like it. I imagine that'd be the case.
You're saying the devil is in your post office?
Yes, just like in that story. He lives
I think
in
it's a
there.
raccoon.
Wonderful.
Any guesses?
Another maniac. Frontier's lousy with them.
Oh my god, the look on their face is kind of amazing.
But again, maybe not. Hey.
Yeah?
Do you believe this fellow? About it being the devil in there?
I don't doubt he believes it, but I also think the poor fella's got a wild imagination.
Hey.
What do you...
Not
the devil, that's for sure.
Phil?
Harley?
He's kind of religious. I'm curious on
What do
his
you
take.
think, Phil? Is that the devil in there?
If it is, I am not going to be the one to find out.
Now I'm just kind of curious everyone's
Maybe
guesses.
yes?
What's your...
I'm not sure, really. Obviously, it's nothing supernatural. I believe the explanation will be far more mundane.
Hey.
Yes, Harley.
Any thoughts on what could be inside the post office?
Whatever it is, it sounds scary. I don't think it's the devil, though.
Wanted, Gina Fuller, the demon. Wonder if Mr. Postman isn't just susceptible to the power of suggestion.
You think it's a lady named Gina in there?
Mr. Postman?
Yes?
Bring me a
What
drink.
is it?
I'd like you to tell me exactly what led up to your current predicament, and give me every detail.
Very well.
Several hours
I arrived
later.
last night with a load of mail from Bly, up north. Passed the night here and spent the morning sorting and tidying, getting ready to continue on to the next station in Wolf Spring. About midday, I stepped outside to ready my horse. Then I heard the most awful noises coming from inside. Sheila heard them too, and bolted off like a shot. Saving her own skin, I can hardly blame her. When I looked in, I beheld a most dreadful scene. Blood
It was World's End Club.
everywhere. Sounds of snarling and crunching bones, and his horrid shadow on the wall. Huge and horned. I ran out here to pray for help, and ain't moved since.
What was that you said before about a story? That this was just like in some story?
Of course. You must know the famous short story by H.W. Montesquieu. The devil lives in the post office. A most chilling tale. Of course, I used to think it was just one of Mr. Montesquieu's celebrated flights of imagination. But now, I suspect he must have known something the rest of us didn't.
Big fan of horror fiction, are you?
Well, you know, no more than anyone else, I suppose. Just something to while away the long hours on the road.
Isn't life horrific enough all on its own without thinking up new, imaginary ways for things to be awful?
Ah, but the devil is very real, miss. He'd only like you to think otherwise.
What makes you think it's the devil and not something else?
What else could it possibly be?
I can think of a few possibilities.
Go and have a look for yourself, then. You'll not doubt once you see it with your own eyes.
Aren't we pretty far from civilization? Why have a post office here?
Oh, not at all. We're just outside the delivery area for Shivering Pines. 10 homesteads within a 2-mile radius. Anyhow, it mostly serves as a transfer and rest station for carriers like me. But next time they ask me to take this route, I'll tell them to go to hell.
Is there a rest station there?
That's where they sent me.
I see what you mean.
Calm. I'm going to try and take care of this.
God be with you.
Gonna go inside now. Okay. There's some blood here.
Gruesome. I hope that's not human blood. This devil lives in every post office.
Got him.
Glad it's not my job to organize those. What in the ether? This has got to be how that thing got in.
I mean, the front door looks a little open also.
It's a beautiful wooden box with an inlaid scrimshaw carving. Says it's from Ceylon.
Don't really have anything I would expect to be able to use here. Yeah, Wildcat seems extremely likely.
This lantern seems to be what's casting that shadow. What in the ether? Hey, Jake?
Yeah?
Got anything on you that might help the situation?
Aside from my gun, you mean? Well, I got my pocket mirror, but I don't see how that can help.
I'll take that mirror for a spell if you don't mind.
Okay. Curious to see what you do with it.
Nadine?
Yes?
Don't suppose you've got anything that might help?
Help with what precisely?
Good point. Hey.
Yes, huh?
Would you happen to have any...
Just my pistol. They could be of use.
Phil?
Harley.
Are you carrying...
I left my holy water back in New Spain.
Regrettable.
He's awful jumpy. Hey.
What?
Do you have anything I can use?
I might.
So I gotta use the pocket mirror to get a good look at it, I think is what we're doing.
Surprised you. How about that? Seems our devil is just a hungry wildcat. Got some good news for you.
Oh?
It's not the devil in there, it's a wildcat.
I knew it!
Jumped in through the window, looks like. Right now, he's having a fine time feasting on a fresh rabbit.
Oh. Are you certain? The devil takes many forms.
Pocket mirror.
I'd stake
A
my
pocket
life
mirror.
on it.
A pocket
So
mirror.
what do we do about it?
I'm open to suggestions.
Easiest thing to do would be to scare it off. I could fire a warning shot. That ought to spook it.
I'm not sure. It seems dangerous. I don't think I could lasso it safely.
I do have some firecrackers the trapper's son gave me. I could scare it off with those.
The poor creature's probably frightened to death.
It sure didn't seem that way.
Animals often act vicious to mask their fear.
Not that different to humans.
True enough.
Interesting.
He's awful jumpy. Best not disturb him.
How can you lasso something that confined? I mean, it would definitely be a real rope trick. I'll say this real briefly. I'm a little wary of how often on these little side excursions you like get inventory items from your companions instead of like finding them in the environment or like knowing what kinds of tools you have going into a situation. Like, it may seem like kind of a minor gripe, but like the fact that you like literally can't do anything here until you like randomly decide to ask Jake if he has something to help with a situation you haven't identified to identify the situation, like that seems silly to me. Like, either I should like have that or there should be something to provoke me to think that that's the solution rather than just like asking everyone every single time.
Hey.
What do you...
Any tip?
Yes. Stay away from them.
You can't just leave this one in there.
Why not? It'll wander off on its own eventually.
Come on, help me out, would you?
Like I said before, keep your distance. Avoid direct confrontation. Best bet is to scare it off.
Nothing to say, really. Phil?
Harley?
Hey.
Yeah?
Alright, it seems like the only thing the game will really let me entertain is to scare it, and the choice seems to be between firing a warning shot or lighting some firecrackers.
Hey, Danny?
Yes, Harley.
I feel like, oh my god, I like Jake is like, hey, I can shoot a warning shot and spook it off. And like Danny, who was like, I don't think I can lasso it. You talk to him, you're like, shoot the cat dead. Like, oh, that escalated fast. Hey, Crit Twitch, welcome to the stream. We found a wild cat in a post office, and we're trying to get rid of it. How are you doing? Well, I don't think I want to shoot the wild cat. That seems needlessly aggressive. I mean, I don't know what kind of exposure this cat has to gunshots and what kind of reaction it would have to that. I feel like the sustained sound of the firecrackers is likely to spook it in a way that, like, I think will just drive it off and not have worse consequences. I don't really know.
Phil?
Harley?
Let's see if you can spook that cat with some of your razzle-dazzle.
It would be my pleasure.
Oops, that was my dynamite.
Anda! Success! The beast jumped out the window.
What about that other noise? Damn it! The wildcat must have knocked over that oil lamp when it took off out of here.
Santa Maria! This is not good. We need to do something, and fast.
I don't have a lot going on in my inventory, I'll tell you that.
This ain't the...
Do some...
Oh, hold on.
What's this?
It's my supply.
Someone... That was...
Yeah, what?
The inside of the office got a little singed, but we managed to put out the fire.
Oh, thank the Lord.
Funny, didn't see him in there with the bucket. Guess we should head back.
God bless you folks.
Well, that counted as saving the post office, even though the fire spread. Got an achievement for that. I am genuinely shocked how much of this game is a road trip. It's crazy to me. Like, I'm starting to think it's gonna be like one of those weird situations where, like, we get there and then the game just ends and they're like, Rosewater Part 2 coming out in 2027. I don't know, I kind of feel like if I start another one, it's gonna run a little later than I wanted to. I don't know exactly. I have plans to see a play with my parents tomorrow, and it's not gonna be super early, but like, you know, I got a bunch of stuff to do before I go to bed. And I goes, your commentary of the game reminds me of the first time I read Lord of the Rings and really expected them to stay in the Shire more. I get that. I get that. Seeing a play with my family tomorrow. Yes, Top Hat. We're gonna see I think it's a local production of the musical The Waitress, based on the movie The Waitress. I don't know if Top Hat's here. I'll play a little further. Hey guys, who do we want to talk to? We got Phil, we got Nadine, we got Jake, we got Danny. We'll get to talk to exactly 2 of them, and then something will happen, and then we'll be bad at it. Also seeing you play with your mother and other people. Almost never done, and wanted to try out more of this year. I mean, we saw Spamalot together. It is a weird coincidence. That was a while. When was that? Do you remember what year we saw Spamalot, Top Hat?
Can't think of anything to ask.
Right. Let's ask Jake.
Yeah?
It was nice to spend time with that Trapper family.
With who? Oh, right, the Fens.
I believe
Got
they
it in
were
one.
the Fortines.
Nah, it's fine.
How about another story?
Sure. Let me tell you about the biggest rattlesnake I ever saw.
Fade to black. And that's why I don't pee standing
So
up.
that's how I learned to never turn my back on a snake.
Huh. There's a lady running toward the road. What the heck is she doing?
That sounded awful.
I'd better see what's going on. What is it? Bandits?
It's the
Highwaymen?
carnival.
Worse. Performers.
Good day to you, travelers.
What's so good about it then? And what are you thinking, running out in front of the wagon like that?
I apologize for the theatrics. I fear it's in my nature.
Quick, Danny, use gun.
And just who are you, anyway?
Who am I?
That's one secret I'll never
I
tell.
suppose I'm
XOXO,
well,
Gossip Girl.
desperate.
That much is clear. You running away or something?
Heavens no, I could never do that. I'm the impresario of this theater troupe. Name's Kate Hatomi. Our show opens next week, and I'd be fibbing if I said it was going well.
You know, that might literally be one of the last 5 live plays you've seen in your life, which makes it weirder that you're seeing one on the same day. That's true. That is pretty weird. You want us to help you somehow?
So I'm guessing you want us to help you in some way?
Ah, very astute. All I ask is an hour of your time.
Are you gonna
We've
pay
been
me?
rehearsing this play for so long. We're all too
Hey,
close to
Top Hat,
present,
is it
so
even
we need
weirder that the
fresh
game
eyes and
also made a
unbiased
play
opinions.
happen when we started
If
talking
you could
about
watch
it?
our rehearsal and share your honest, unvarnished impressions, you would be doing us a good turn.
Oh my
The
god,
performance
is it
will be
gonna let
gratis,
me...
of course.
Is it gonna let me have inappropriate responses to the performance again? Where like everyone stops clapping and I scream real loud? It's not weird, I told the game to do it. Stop exercising weird omnipotence, Top Hat. You know what makes me uncomfortable. We should be compensated for our time.
Sounds like you're asking us to be consultants. Is this a paid gig?
I'm afraid our budget would not stretch to permit that, but I could offer you free tickets to see the production when it officially premieres, as well as my most sincere gratitude.
What do you think, Miss Johnson?
I think it sounds like an excellent chance to get a few weeks. I'll park just over there.
That's funny.
Y'all have fun.
I respect that. You're absolutely gonna rob your wagon while you watch their performance. Seems likely. This is also definitely reskinned the same theater from Rosewater.
Myself and all the Queen's Mid-Atlantic players, welcome! This is a peek behind the curtain, if you will, at a work in progress. I thank you most humbly for your indulgence, and warmly invite you to share your impressions.
Is it really all the way back in
rehearsal.
2005?
And now,
So
please
long ago.
enjoy the show.
It was 20 years ago. I hate numbers. Okay, here's a play. Everyone pay attention. God, that lady looks
Once
cursed.
upon a time, in a faraway land, there lived a beautiful and charming princess.
Oh, I love my land. The people are kind, the water fresh, and the days are sunny and bright.
The princess was
kidding?
loved and admired by everyone in the land, except one. An evil wizard coveted the kingdom and kidnapped the princess, intending to marry her and gain the throne. To ensure she could not escape, he summoned a terrifying
Oh, I look
dragon
forward to
guard her.
this. Okay. The end.
However, all was not lost.
Oh, darn. I mean, yeah. That's a quick change.
For a young hero rose to the challenge.
I shall battle the dragon and save the princess.
I will
That
pay
is,
the rent.
if my dear mother lets me. I said, if my mother lets me, of course.
I hope the dragon head comes back down with like a pink bow on top.
Faye?
Oh my god, did someone die?
Where the hell is Faye?
I don't know. Last I saw her, she was in her tent.
Oh, for crying out loud! I'm sorry, folks. I don't know what I was thinking. It's clear we won't be getting anywhere with this rehearsal. You can change out of your costume now, Dwayne. We're done here. Martina? Quentin? Same goes for you.
It would be legitimately funny
I spent hours on my
if, like,
makeup.
we just went back in the rig and left. Like, this had no purpose.
Everything I do to keep all this together, and you lot can't even turn up on stage now and then to hit a mark and say a few lines.
Ball the record scratch. Yeah, that is pretty good. I think you mean the phonograph
I really must
scratch?
apologize for wasting your time. I knew the show needed some work. I didn't realize it wasn't fit to perform.
Let's help
There
them
must be
fix the
some
show.
way we can help with the show.
You took the words right out of my mouth.
Are you sure? Much as it pains me, I can't honestly say we aren't in need of help.
Certainly.
Well, I'm curious to hear your suggestions. But right now, we need to find out what's wrong with Faye.
Dead, I
Dr. Fred
presume.
went to examine her, but I think she's just having one of her tantrums. You know how actors can be. Or perhaps you don't. In which case, consider yourself lucky.
Stupid.
I'm going back to the stage. Come see me if you have any ideas.
You one of the people on the screen? I'm the lady in the
So,
red vest.
Any ideas?
Perhaps. Excuse me.
Also, my
I'm going
character
to
in the
have another
game
look
is
at the stage.
fourth from the left. Where did he say he was going? I
Danny
was
and I
making
are
a
gonna
dumb
go
joke.
talk to the two fellers playing the wizard and hero. I think you should help Miss Redbird see to that Fey woman. Anyhow, we'll see if we can't get this show in halfway decent shape. Come on, Danny boy.
Rattlesnake.
Hello, Miss Martina, was it?
Yeah, Martina Holder. I am sorry we could not finish the show for you.
No worries. My companions and I are trying to help your director make it better.
Ah, good. We do need the help.
We are very bad.
I'd like to know about your castmates.
Ah, they are fine people, and I am lucky to know them. Mr. Ellis always has stories and jokes to make me laugh. He reminds me of a big bear. He's also a very fine actor, and he has performed on stages in great cities all over Europe. Dwayne is very nice, but he's also very shy. He does not speak much with me or any of the others. I have always thought it is funny that an actor is so shy, but when he is on stage, one would never know. And Mrs. Davies is like a mother to me. She cares for us very much and wants to make sure everyone is healthy and happy. Although she does nag a lot. My real mother did not nag so.
Why are you getting involved with this random group's drama? Because the lady who drives our stagecoach decided that she needed a nap and told us to GTFO.
When did...
Oh, about 4 years ago. Then my English was not so good, so I did not get many parts with words, but I am getting more and more lines in the new shows.
What were you doing before joining this troupe?
I was living in Bright Bay, working as an art model. One evening,
Working as a waitress in a cocktail bar.
to the theater to one of Miss Hatomi's shows. Afterward, he told me he was leaving to go to work for a new patron in Italy. He could no longer keep me.
So he took you out to lessen the blow?
Not exactly. It turned out he knew Miss Hatomi. He had painted some backdrops for her. He took me backstage after the show and asked her to let me audition. I was shaking. I cannot even remember what I said. I had never acted before, you see. But fortunately for me, Miss Hatomi decided to take me on. Otherwise, I would have been out on the street.
Goodbye, Miss Holder.
Lovely to be speaking with you.
I'm sick of your life story.
Someone kept a copy of a local newspaper.
Probably gonna need this for some reason. It's in my inventory now. Oh god, no. Traveling players perform Camelot in the park before bemused onlookers. Picnickers, ramblers, and families intent on enjoying a leisurely afternoon in Las Virginia's Pelican Park last Sunday were doubtless left befuddled by a nearly incoherent, plain-air rendition of the chivalric drama Camelot, staged there by impresario Miss Hitomi's itinerant theater troupe, the Mid-Atlantic Players. The polyglot players, hailing from all over Vespuccia and far reaches of the globe, gargled and fumbled through their lines in a stilted faux medieval patois, riddled with these and thous and forsooths, as they strove to bring King Arthur's court to life amidst the palms and fountains of the West Lawn. Evidently, in the habit of traveling light, the performers were obliged to make do with next to nothing in the way of sets, costumes, or props that might enliven the spectacle and in any way further the illusion of a courtly medieval setting for the drama. As to drama, the plot was paper thin, a stock tale of good overcoming evil, wholly lacking in subtlety and nuance, not to mention any trace of the courtliness and charm one might expect in a romance from the days of yore. The legions of nappers taking advantage of the late afternoon haze to doze on the soft grass evidently found little in the way of thrills during the proceedings to rouse them from their slumber. Perhaps more fitting description of the scene, days of bore. Why are there words? Because I was told to stop saying numbers out loud. Hey, whatever happened to Dr. Bennett Clark? Once hailed as the Wizard of Aethericity, Dr. Bennett Clark has fallen from the public eye in recent years. After the public outcry following the deaths of 15 people in the Lamplight City Expo disaster of 47, he hastily relocated to Rosewater, West Virginia? That doesn't seem right. Where for a time he continued a series of public demonstrations, albeit to a diminished audience. No word has been heard of Dr. Clark in nearly a year, despite the awesome destruction he wrought. He claimed his only wish was the betterment and protection of all mankind by harnessing and taming the mighty dragon of Aethericity. Clark hoped to bring salvation to the common citizen. Why is it written like this? Died. Local blacksmith Arnold Paget. Don't think it's relevant. Married. Charles Grayson, 27. Bella Levinsky. Oaks. Born. Yeah, I'll just leave those unless it seems like those announcements are relevant. Where's the person I'm going to go see? Okay, here's an empty. Let me just rummage through someone's belongings.
The desk is covered in papers. Lots of notes. What a mess. Most of these seem to be show notes. Here's a list of names. Othello, Carondelet, Dissembling, Delphi. Wonder what that means.
Open Sesame. It's a secret password.
It's a poster for a musical show called Carondelet. It opened on June 2nd. Must be one of Miss Hitomi's previous shows.
Isn't Carondelet the thing Speedy Gonzalez says?
A poster for the Mystery at Delphi. Opened on November 6th. A poster for the Mystery at... It's a poster for the Mystery at...
This is definitely a combination.
Looks like it's been quite a few places. A pair of leather boxing gloves. All sorts of costumes, fake beards, and other theatrical accessories. If my eyes don't deceive me, just need to figure out how to open it.
Falls
No way I can
compartment.
All sorts of...
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So, like, okay, what was it? Piece of paper. I keep right-clicking when I see the ellipse, and that's not correct.
What a mess. Othello, Carondelet, Dissembling, Delphi. Wonder what that means. A poster for the Mystery at Delphi. Opened on November 6th.
So the last one is
It's
6.
a poster for a musical show called Carondelet. It opened on June 2nd.
Something 2... Something 6. It's weird the game keeps telling you about this disaster from Lamplight City, but the focus is this
it's
long
for playing music on wax cylinders.
road trip. But the road trip is a result of the weird disaster from Lamplight City. Ah, here's the place I'm supposed to go.
Visitor. Who are you?
Harley Leger. And you are?
The one in the red
Faye
vest.
Davies. I don't expect it's a name you've heard. And as I was
Do you
explaining
think that's
to
her
your friend
sofa?
here, not a name I expect you'll hear very much in the future.
She seems to be self-medicating.
Mrs. Davies, I would advise moderation in regards to that brandy.
Dear girl, I understand you like to dabble in medical matters. Let me assure you that this is the only medicine that works for me.
Look at this poster.
A poster for some show I've never heard of called The Dissembling Mechanism. Apparently it opened on New Year's Day.
216? I think that's where I'm at. I'm gonna go look for another poster and not help this lady like I'm supposed to. I really want to hear his opinion on this dragon.
Phil?
Harley?
What was your opinion of the performance?
It lasted for like
was
4 minutes.
Not to my taste. However, with some improvements, it could be entertaining.
All right, see you later. The actor's life doesn't...
I want to open that secret compartment real bad. I don't know the best way to do that since I can't find a fourth poster.
Miss Hitomi?
Yeah?
When did you put this troupe together?
As it exists now? Oh, it's been about 5 years, I should say. That's when Quentin and I came over to Vespuccia.
Who, Quentin?
What were you doing before starting this troupe?
I spent some time in London, then went traveling around Europe doing this and that. Until I met Quentin.
Have you performed yourself, or do you stay out of the spotlight?
Me? Oh no, I haven't been on stage since...
Before you met
since
Quentin?
Paris. Quentin and I used to do a little magic show, if you can believe it.
No fooling?
It was a very long time ago. Not worth remembering, honestly.
What do you think would make the show better?
God, where do I begin? Faye's in a black mood. Quentin thinks his character lacks depth. Martina's unintelligible. And Dwayne's swordplay doesn't even rise to the level of farce. And naturally, theater's all about imagination. But with the
It's a long side quest.
I fear we are asking rather too much
That
of our
just
audience
suggests
in that
talent. That's a more succinct way of saying what she's
packing it
saying.
all in.
Oh Lord, oh God Almighty. I don't think I should embark on this full quest. Okay, hold on a second. I like to imagine that, like, having heard how much trouble she thinks there is, I just, like, silently, like, left without turning around, just, like, eyes wide, just backing away. Like, I'm not engaging with that. You have a poster in here for
A few
Othello?
books and a collection of wax cylinders in that box.
Ooh, can I, like...
Let's see. There are a few wax cylinders here. A few books and a collect...
No, these are all the same hitbox? Who wants to brute force a puzzle with me? Raise your hands in chat. By which I mean, hit me with a Carlos. He's got a claw raised.
A brass
What?
button. A brass...
Oh, the game won't even... The game won't even let me acknowledge that these are clearly buttons that I press to, like, open the secret compartment. That's so rude.
All sorts of costumes. A pair of...
So mad.
These might be useful.
So rude. I should thank you for gifting us up to Justin.
A breath. If my eyes don't just need to figure. No way I can.
Actually, I still had that rusty knife that I used to cut that log out in the wilderness. How do I get my character to understand this obvious trick? Okay, hold on. Oh, I can exit this way? Oh, God. This is such a long sojourn. Are you kidding me? Othello.
One of your companions has decided to join us.
That's the doctor, isn't it?
She used to be a performer of sorts herself.
Dr. Sedgwick from
You
town?
don't say. What sort?
I was a fighter. Not sure that really counts.
My dear, if an audience paid money to come see you, that counts as performing in my book. I'm Quentin Ellis, by the by. Delighted to make your acquaintance.
Likewise. Quentin Ellis is Othello, premiering October 7th.
So 7's the first one. Just make sure I got the order straight.
What a mess. Othello, Carondelet, Dissembling, Delphi. Wonder what that means. It's a poster.
Yeah, 7216. Alright, I'm gonna call that there. I thought this would be like a fun little jaunt, but like, we're clearly going to like reinvent the wheel and like have these people, we're gonna like revolutionize their entire business model and try and turn them into like, I don't know, world-renowned performers or something. Like this is like a whole like Phoenix Wright case or some nonsense. Hello, it's me, Big Vasco. I'm sorry that we were unable to brute force the luggage. We clearly have to do something to make it clear to our character that the thing to do is to solve that puzzle. The bright side is we no longer have to brute force it because we did find where the last poster was. We simply had to look slightly to the right and then entered someone's trailer. But like, yeah, we like literally have to like learn like 4 or 5 people's entire life story. Figure out how to give them better like acting skills, diction, props, costumes. Like it's gonna be like a whole, like it might be like a whole stream's worth of like theater nonsense. But I like it. Don't get me wrong, it seems like fun, but I thought like so many of these little side quests are like, it's 5 minutes. Did you like get robbed? Did you fall in the river and die? Actually, that's a good question. I wonder what happens if you fail to rescue Danny. That was like one of the easier ones. But after he jumps in the river after that kid, I wonder if he can, like, legitimately drown. That'd be crazy. You just, like, don't have Danny for, like, the rest of the game, and, like, nothing else so far has really had stakes that high. But yeah, I continue to enjoy Rosewater, but I think part of it is, like, I've had to sort of, like, readjust my mental model as I've gone along, because, like, it's not really an adventure game in a strict sense. It's sort of like a hybrid, like, interactive movie point and click adventure, which isn't necessarily bad. It's not what I expected, and like there are a couple of seams, I guess. Like I'm not even sure I want to go so far as to say rough edges, but like there's some points where like I don't feel like those ideas necessarily mesh like super nicely. Again, I wouldn't say mostly like I've had a couple of like I think legitimate minor grievances with the way they've handled like some of the puzzles or how you're supposed to figure out how to get items or just some of the way the time sections work, but like all in all, like I still feel pretty good about the entire execution of this game. Again, it's just like a little bit different than what I expected it to be, and so part of it is like acknowledging that and not just like being mad that it's not just like a point and click adventure game. The theater one just makes no sense. You get stopped, watch a terrible performance because their crazy leader tries to run in front of the wagon, and now we're trying to make their group work? Why? They'll never work well together. They're not paying you. And you'll be late for pirate treasure. I mean, there's no guarantee that we'll get there for pirate treasure. I will agree with you, though, that like most of these have had a better setup than this. But at the same time, given what little we know already, I would say that like the scope of this suggests that this is something that the developers like really wanted in there. Now, does that mean that like they could have incentivized it? Yeah, for sure. Like even the like archaeologist who like has no reason to like have money was like, yeah, if you do this like weird mini game, well, I'll pay you a bunch of money. But like, yeah, I don't know. Like, I don't see any reason why they like couldn't just pay us. Like, I don't think it necessarily like honestly, off the top of my head, it doesn't feel like it's terribly at odds with the idea that they would like need your help to be like better performers or put on a better show or whatever, because they have like a little bit of money on hand that they could afford to use to make a show that will make them money, you know, like invest in their future or whatever. And like even that would really be enough incentive, I think, to like cover that. You won't get the pirate treasure because someone else will get there first, but no one else like knows. Like no, this isn't like One Piece where like everyone knows that there's a pirate treasure and like is seeking it out. Like these people like randomly keep seeing that newspaper article and they're like, you know what we could do is like try and steal that grant money that dude has. So like, I don't know. It doesn't seem like we have any competition that we know of. I think this is an instance where we're just meant to suspend our disbelief, and I think it's fair to feel like it strains credibility, for sure, but like, I don't know, for my money, if this ends up being like an interesting side quest, it won't bother me too terribly much, but at the same time, I think those are valid criticisms. Like, it wouldn't, I don't think it would be too hard to make it feel more justified. Like, I feel like they almost went out of their way to not justify it, and that makes it feel almost weirder. That like she just like runs in front of the wagon and then you're like, well, will you pay us? And they're like, no. But like maybe we'll give you tickets to a show that I've already told you isn't worth watching. It's okay, it's not like a great sales pitch, if I'm being honest with you. But I am looking forward to playing out the rest of this and maybe learning some more #Coyote facts. But for now, I'm going to call it a night, because I don't think we're going to make terribly much progress without getting deeply embroiled in this. Before we wrap up the stream, of course, behold, the room. I've turned to the side so you can see what I currently have arranged here in the office that I do desperately need to rearrange and whatnot. Yeah, these are my decorations, my friends, my stuffed animals. Somewhere amongst them, I've hidden some number of Squirtles. If you are able to indicate where the Squirtles are hiding, it will be an omen of good luck for you in the coming days. So I encourage you to take a moment, while we're still gathered, see if you can find a Squirtle, because who can't use good luck in times like these? Speaking of One Piece, I just finished the Foxy arc yesterday and we didn't get anything out of it. It is a very contentious side story, the Foxy arc. I have a soft spot for it because like that was something that that honestly like that was like current around the time that I think I was, well, I don't think it was quite current because I think Shabadi was current by the time, I don't know. I distinctly remember watching the Foxy story arc with Rogue and Tech back in college when I first got Tech into it, and they had such strong feelings. We had such memes about like Chicky Cheetah and stuff. It's incredible. Okay, let's get out of these guesses. Behind Eastern Winnie the Pooh, behind Teddy Ursa, behind Bottom Shelf Eevee, behind Coughing. Where's our good friend Carlos? Oh, he's around. Let's take a look. I mean, we also have time. We got a little Carlos. He's small. All right. Let's see. So, how would we work bottom up, huh? It's still good, though. Some people really don't like the Foxy arc. I think it's fun, but it is pointless. Coughing was hiding our Porcupirate. Our, like, Halloween dress-up porcupine. He's a good little guy. Not a Squirtle, unfortunately. We've got a lot of bottom shelf guesses, eh? Ooh. Our bottom shelf Eevee had a little Squirtle on his back. Teddy Ursa, on the other hand, not a Squirtle this time, but a different Pokemon, our big-headed Espeon. You're not gonna stand up. I know this. Let's see. We had Easter Bunny Pooh, who in fact did have our Pokédoll Squirtle. I feel like I missed one. So we have Easter Pooh, Teddy Ursa, Eevee, Coughing. Is there another one? I will also reveal that Carlos is helping to prop up our Sleepy Sheep. Neko commented she liked it yesterday, so I put him up even higher up by stacking one of my reversible narwhals on top of Carlos. Anyone care to take a guess at the theme that gathered them all together? As we've taken to doing that this year. Appreciated his laugh numerous times. It's a pretty good laugh. On the One Piece scale of laughs, I'd say it's pretty good. Long-eared Squirtle theme. That is exactly right, Neko. You got it in one. Our long-eared friends had Squirtles. And it is specifically long-ears, because there's some big-eared friends like Teddy Ursa that were hiding other friends instead. Congratulations to everyone. Thank you for watching. Thanks for being here. Thanks for being you, and I hope to see you again soon. I got a play to catch in the early afternoon tomorrow. I hope you all have something fun lined up tomorrow and something to get you through the week, because boy, 2025 sure is something, isn't it? But until we gather again, take care of yourselves and remember that you are Colossum.